y'all.
Hey.
I am cheesing. I swear, 1 week off and it feel like I've been gone forever. That's why I said the girls is back together.
We're excited.
How are y'all doing?
Happy.
Good.
I'm woke.
Ready.
Meredith first night put me to sleep. I mean, like a deep, sleep. Because I was, girl.
I mean,
But I'm
it,
here.
it was it was pretty. It was okay. It was probably one thing that we really gonna go in about, but I mean, I see why you could have fell asleep.
And probably I seen like the first scene of each couple and maybe like one part of like after commercials. And I woke up and I'm like, oh, it's 9:15. I gotta get up. Yeah.
So if you seen the first scene, you saw it all. And that's why I like to be like, I watched this so you didn't have to. So we gonna recap Married at First Sight so they don't have to. Y'all, before we get into it, make sure that y'all follow all of the ladies on social media. Email us for questions, anything like that. Twitter, we are on Twitter at Ooh Ladies First, Instagram as well. Bondi at Bondi Blue, Jay Lee's Corner, Jamie, that's me, and Necey Dixon. Real clean. Y'all know where to find us everywhere, okay? So with that being said, I think we should go ahead and hop into our first show. Yawn. That's what it's giving.
But the whole season was boring.
I mean,
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say the whole season.
It was just, I think the whole season was like 2 situations, just like recapped in different fights. And I just wish it was like more. I like shows like every episode we get like a little bit more of stuff. So I feel like the whole season was like, oh, just these 2 things in different ways. I'm like, where the
nobody was giving. Nobody was giving. That's why.
I feel like as soon as everybody started giving, they got scared and retracted. And now we have an incomplete season. Okay. And that's because everybody was so scared. And it's like, you know what I don't understand? The show was never supposed to really be about real estate. And that's the thing that annoys me is that when we talked to Robin during the interview, she said the show was about women who are in real estate, meeting up, girl time, that type of thing. You know, it was about their lives. It was about their relationships with each other. So it wasn't a show about how many houses can we sell in the first fucking place. So I don't know why everybody thought that there wasn't going to be any mess and it was all going to be some huge prolonged commercial for their businesses, Kiana. Like I don't get it. It was never going to be that.
We still didn't get many like stories. We didn't get many scenes of them already hanging out. Like you didn't even really get a feel of their friendship. So it was like, who really? That's true. Like, so that was weird too. Like if you didn't want it to be about y'all lives, okay, cool. But it wasn't really about the house. It was cool. But it's like it was a weird mixture of nothing and something that they threw on the screen because what else on TV.
But I think we didn't get to see the friendships because they ain't have one. It was like everybody was familiar with each other, but it wasn't a friendship. So we got to see the breakdown of Crystal and Robin because they were the ones that were actually friends.
You are 100% right. The thing that clicked to me whenever Bondi said, whenever they got ready to give, they backtracked. Tiffany and Crystal. It was definitely something to be discussed because even though they weren't friends, they knew each other. And it seemed to me like neither person really wanted to say, like, I wish I wish Tiffany would have just came out and said, I don't fuck with you, period. She kept talking about vibes and auras and why do you expect people to do this? But she just say you don't fuck with, I don't like you. But you know, everybody was backtracking.
I feel like Tiffany was trying to be in what I think she was trying to kind of still keep it a little bit of professional, like let her know how she feel without being so direct because they still have to exist in this industry and she didn't really want no mess. But I did like that because I felt that way too. I felt like she was kind of teetering the line. But what I did like was when Crystal kept, you know, jabbing, like I want you to be direct, whatever. She got real direct, like, okay, you want to talk? Then let's talk about you trying to take my homegirl. Kira, you trying to take business from me. So I was glad that she started doing that. And it just showed how fake and flaky Crystal is, that she couldn't even handle that conversation. See, you're good at controlling situations and controlling conversations, but when you losing control and you can't explain yourself, then you try to deflect and use something else. That reminds me of Jasmina, but we'll get to you in a second. But
girl,
yeah,
the way she walked away from the conversation, that was me trying. This is me not trying.
Right.
Girl, she just came at you with a direct question. What's going on?
Right.
What's going on? What happened to the question?
But you know what I think? I feel like Tiffany. I feel like Tiffany knew, Crystal knew, we don't fuck with each other. So you trying to ask me on camera, like, what's up? She's like, what would you mean? Like,
whatever do you mean, my dear? You know I don't like you.
Right. So I think her thing was like, I don't think she was backtracking, but she was like, don't try to make this for the cameras because you know the vibe ain't right. So let me say that versus saying, you know, I don't fuck with you. So I was trying to stay professional, but like,
you don't fuck with you, right?
I mean, she did a good job. She did a good job keeping it cute for the whole season. So to speak specifically on this finale, it's like a few things that I want to call out. Kira, even though we almost forgot that she was on the show, it was one thing that I wanted to mention. We really did. I almost forgot. Whenever they did that recap of Kira at the end, I was like, for what?
Anyway, she ain't have nothing else to show but her listings. That's the sad.
I don't think they said
nothing. She ain't had nothing else to show but her listings. That's why we almost forgot her. She only came around when they showed her in her property with a client. That's it. Nothing else.
Which isn't a bad
I feel like they did that with Tiana too.
They did.
At least with Tiana and Tiffany, we saw their family. And we saw them at some point, like, be like, what did, even Tiana was given personality wise. Whereas with Kira, it was like, oh no, girl, I don't do that. It was after the first time where she decided to sling her neck and all of that. After that, it was, oh no, girl, I don't do that. And I'm a good Christian woman. And oh my God, and this and that. And I just don't want to deal with it. Yeah, it was
because she wanted somebody else to keep that same smoke. And once she saw everybody else start getting along, that's when she started exiting out of the conversation because nobody else was going to be ready to take their shoes off like she was.
She didn't have no support to her smoke.
Right.
But I think because nobody wanted to. She was the youngest, right, Kira? She was the one who was like the youngest or whatever. She act like she young.
It's her not willing to accept the advice that she asked for. I'm talking like, what's the point of talking to Tiana when everything she tells you, you're going to like, no, that's not what it is. I'm not such and such. I said, oh, I couldn't. Okay.
Because when you think about it, the whole season, I feel like Kira, Tiffany, and Tiana were like B-roll people. And they were trying to really focus on Kiana, Crystal, and Robin. But I feel like, again, Tiana, Kira, and Tiffany did not make themselves like really the vocal point of any of the show. They like kind of playing the back role. And I felt like, why? Like it didn't make any sense because you could have also been like, heavy hit. But I'm like, y'all was like, so I'm like, we didn't really need
I think the show did that.
Tiana was favorable.
Yeah, because I like Tiana and Tiffany. I didn't really care for Kira towards the end wasn't so bad, but she was so boring. It was like she was an afterthought. So it was like whatever. And then Robin can't see me.
We couldn't see her.
She was had in Hogwarts. But I think Robin and Kiana and Crystal, even though I think all of them still in the end tried to play it safe, we still was like, okay, they was the main people for one reason or the other. But do y'all want them to come back for a season 2?
Not the same ladies.
I wouldn't mind it.
Other people.
I do want to see another season, but not all the same ladies. Give me Tiana, please. Give me Robin. I'll take Crystal with her trifling ass. You know what? Just replace Kira. Just replace Kira with Kiana. And Kiana.
She gone already. Kiana gone.
Yeah.
You want Tiffany?
I want everybody except for Kiana and Kira.
There we go.
I agree.
We get to the bottom.
Yep.
I was just about to say something about Kira, I think. Like, where was your man? Like, where was any like real story there? Like you're telling us about something that happened and showing us your burned down house. Where's the nigga? Crystal. Oh, and Crystal. No, that's what I wanted to talk about. Crystal being trifling. They did, but I was like, "What are pictures of him? Oh, where's the new nigga? There's no nigga. You're lying. I don't believe you." Crystal. When Crystal went to the poly party, that raggedy ass poly picnic that they had.
Thank you.
The thing that was the thing that was so funny to me about it though was that this whole time Crystal was dating another guy that she was more serious about and did not tell the poly dude about it. And she presented the poly dude like he was somebody she was dating.
Yes. I think she lying because when she said, "Oh, we went on the phone talking," I'm like, "But you ain't dating that man. You're talking to that man." But again, why you at this poly party picnic if you don't even want to be in the poly life? It was that host, and that scene was way too long.
It did. Who is asking? Y'all ain't got no more footage.
I'm about to say that's exactly why.
Yeah, why? It was. I almost felt like I was watching True Life on MTV. You know,
that's what they sit around and talk about stuff. You like, oh, that's interesting.
Yes, they're like True Life, the life of a poly, but it felt real Afrocentric poly. Like why everybody seemed, it definitely did. It was giving dry. I mean, I have heard of a polyamorous lifestyle. I wasn't like as intrigued as Robin was. I was honestly shocked that she was so like, oh my gosh. It's people who are in relationships with other people. I was like,
Robin older. She don't. I think you either because I think poly life has so many different ways that people live it. Everybody different. Because I used to watch it was a show on Showtime. It was years ago.
Oh, I thought you guys talk about some dude used to talk. I was like,
no.
Girl, who would do fuck you into a poly life?
Never. I can't.
Somebody get Besa. She knows about this.
But it was weird because the show was showing like maybe like 6 different people from different states who have a poly life, and each group was different. So that was weird. When I'm like, okay, a poly party, I assumed it would be just something organized and like cute. And I'm like, I was at a picnic in the park with red cups and that's all. And then it was like Robin was asking more questions than Crystal. And I'm like, Crystal, ain't you fucking that man? And then it was just weird. I was like, was this a poly like advertisement? Because I'm like, y'all spend the most time.
It all seemed like an advertisement.
Yes, and none of them like it had nothing to do with the show. I'm like, Crystal not poly, she not with that man. So while we took 25 minutes, I was like, this is so stupid. But it shows how they didn't really do nothing for the finale.
No, and as I was listening to them talk about their lifestyle, I was kind of just like, so swingers, because it was giving more swinger than it was poly to me. It just sounded like a group of 3 couples that get together sometimes. It didn't sound like seriously.
I think it depends. Cause I think I don't know. I'm not because I don't swing, but I think swingers are like when you sometimes swing with different people, like, and y'all be hanging out, but there's no commitment. Poly lifestyle is supposed to be you actually have a relationship within the relationship, and it's like commitment there, and like you can't be lying and fucking whoever. I think that's the only difference is if you swinging with whoever else is swinging, and it ain't no like commitment, understanding or whatever between you and the people. But poly is like there's a bond here, like there's some kind of commitment within the sharing of the penises and the sharing of the vaginas. I don't know.
Why she had to say it like that? Why she had to say it like that?
I gotta give a disclaimer.
So like I hit in the chest a little bit with that when the penis is in the vagina. Oh, wait a minute.
Okay, the other part that interested me, that made me feel like this was the poly party was so damn bootleg. Let me start there. So to me, it felt like they all wanted to fuck Robin, and that they all were trying to get her. That's why I didn't give poly to me. Like they all just wanted her to be like, come have sex with us. Is what I was.
They probably wanted Robin and Crystal, but Crystal was over there talking to the old boy. His name's Zane. What that man's name is? It did
because he needed some clarity. He needed some clarity.
When Robin said, "Oh, well, she got a boyfriend," so would you want a boyfriend? He like, wait, what? So I think because Robin had more questions, they probably felt like, oh, she's curious. Let's see if we can kind of, you know, bring over to our side. And I think Crystal just it was a fake scene entirely. And I was just like, why Robin asking so many questions? I'm like, was this supposed to be a question and answer situation? It was just weird. But Robin,
it did seem like that. I'm about to say I think Robin was lying about fucking that couple.
Who was asking her to get
you think she was lying?
Yep. I think she was lying. She looked like she was lying to me. It felt like
she looked like she didn't want to admit it on camera. Like she said, put the cameras down and you asked me. And I said, well, yeah, I did it back in the I don't think she wants to admit that on camera.
Because that don't even make sense. The fuck you doing out the country with a couple hanging with them enough for them to want to fuck you and you never fuck them. Girl, that sounds like look, I was Joan of Arc in my formal life and I was a hoe. You know, no shade, no shade. Because, you know, I haven't even gotten to that place yet, you know.
And everybody like a little bit of fun. And you do but maybe she just was like, I don't want to sit on camera because I'm a professional woman. It's like, when you fuck them, you fuck them. And you know what I'm saying? If you are a grown adult and everybody grown adults and ain't nobody being R. Kelly's, do what you do.
I feel like if y'all own y'all own businesses, I don't know what the problem is. Like a lot of their energy was like they had somebody to answer to. Like a corporate was gonna call them and be upset about the things they were seeing on this reality show. But it's just like ultimately, y'all are the ones that signed up for this show in the first fucking place. Y'all are the ones that talk about how y'all have y'all own businesses and y'all live on y'all own terms. Well, hello. That's what reality shows, you know, that's what reality shows are for. For people who don't, you know, they were perfect for this if they would have just allowed it to be real instead of, you know, feeling the need to cover and fix. Because it always brings me back to Mel. And that's why I always will say, you know, that's what I loved about Mel so much. As much shit as people talk about Mel handled that Love and Marriage Huntsville shit like a champ. Okay. Like dealt with the personal backlash.
I would have showed my ass.
Okay. With class, kept it cute. Okay. Knows how to not answer a question. Okay.
I think because she got Carlos. I think it depends on your producer. Like Carlos King is an amazing producer behind the scenes. And I feel like he helped. I think Carlos King saw in Mel like she got something. Let me help prepare her. Because Mel said before how he told her before the show, like premiere, I got you. Let's, you know, put it out there and we'll handle it. I think for this show, Ladies Who List, they didn't have good producers. They didn't have good producers to tell them, look, be authentic. Like when Candy said for this season, how the producers forced them to not just, you know, glad across because, you know, it's season 14. No, we need y'all to be real and this and that. If your producer don't push you to be, you know, authentically, what's the name with the R?
To be genuine,
I can't get the word. It's not gonna work because we're not gonna care, and we didn't really care about anybody much on the show because their producer didn't produce.
So it was.
I cared about Robin.
Oh, we cared. We did like. So I think Robin was probably the only. We cared about Crystal and we cared about Crystal. Tiffany, we just don't like Crystal
and Tiana, and like Crystal is definitely somebody that. Except for Kiana and Kira, honestly. And we wanted to like Kiana, but it was almost like I can't deal with somebody that's so full of themselves to that degree and then won't even.
Can we talk about the end screens? So it was two things that came up in the Where Are They Now type screens that low-key had me confused. Kiana. She said, sometimes I wonder if I actually want to have a kid because I want to have a kid or because society makes me have a kid. And then she shows herself doing the IVF process and then ends up saying something like, if God lets me have a kid, it wasn't even like that. It was I wish I wrote down exactly what she said, but it was something along the lines of like, if I want one. It wasn't even like when God blesses me with one, if God gives me one. It was kind of like she was still on the fence about if she wanted a kid, but then they showed her doing the IVF, which I was very confused about. Let me make this clear. Girl, I hope you get what you are wanting. I hope this IVF is everything you need it to be. I was just very confused about the end scene because it sounded like she was saying two things at the same time. And I don't know if that's because she's
constantly doing that though.
Yeah, I don't know if it was because she was being inauthentic. Like, yes,
double
are
talk.
you double talking? Because at this point, maybe you feel as though you might not have one. So maybe that's why you're double talking. So that way, if it doesn't happen, then you already have it in your mind. Or is it
so hurt?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's a protection mode, but I didn't understand. Like,
I feel like there was a disconnect between her and that husband. I don't know why. I'm glad I'm not the only one that felt it, because people were hitting me up saying like they felt it too. Because I was like, I don't know what it is, but there is something not connecting. Yeah, not clicking. And she does a lot of double talk with him. You know, even when she talks about their relationship, and it's just something feels like she ran off that show before more of her life became apparent to everybody, because she likes for everybody to see a certain image of her. And about the baby thing, I mean, honestly, I'm like, how old are you? Because I'm 33 and I'm already in the mind frame that if by 36 this has not happened, then we're probably going to be looking into adoption. So I'm trying to, like, this is something we've already talked about and thought about, being open to, you know, any and all processes. Okay. And that includes adoption, surrogacy. That includes all of it. Whatever we can afford to do, child, like, we will do. So a part of me feels like it's probably more society than it is you really wanting that. Because at 40 years old, this is not the age to be up in the air about whether you want something like this or not. Because I'm at 33 and I feel like these are the options. You know what I'm saying? These are the roads we can take. And to me, it sounds like they're not even sure if they really would do these things. It's almost like, okay, we can do IVF, and if it happens, great. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't happen.
Right.
And that makes me feel like you're not really wanting that.
I think in her circles, they probably have had conversations about her either really wanting kids or not having kids. And so she feel like people are questioning me. So because they question me because I'm not really being truthful, let me just say, if I don't or do want kids, it shouldn't matter, because whatever happens, happens. So I think because it was, her storyline really had nothing to do with that. So for that to be her ending conversation was like, who in your circle is saying, do you really want kids? Because you really don't act like it. And so that's in your head. And it's like, because you lying. I'm not gonna say she's lying, but because caught myself. Because snatch right back up. But I think she realized people will question her motives based on how she came off this season. And that could be the real reason she does not want to come back, because who wants to look at her as the one using infertility as her storyline if that's not really what you want? So I think she was trying to save herself.
I also feel like
she'd be a horrible person.
I feel like when it comes to like the double talk for her too, like, it was fluff. But also at the same time, I'm wondering if it's that she may want a child, but she's not at a place where she really wants to slow down her business, because obviously that's something that's super important to her. So that's why she's thinking about it like that. Like, I mean, I want one, but if I don't, I'll be okay with it, because, you know what I'm saying? Her business, I think a lot of people, when they get older, they start to reflect on life, and you're only going to get older. So as you get older, who's really going to be there to support you? You know what I'm saying? He has his seed. So if he ever gets sickly or get older, need a place to go, he has that. She doesn't. So I think that may cross her mind a little bit. Like, I want that, but where I'm at in my prime right now, like, I got to get it while I get it. So if I look up and I'm 45 and I ain't got it, I'll be okay with that. But truthfully, deep down inside, she's not going to. That may have crossed her mind, like, to do IVF, and then now she's like, oh, I'm fine, I'll be okay. No, you won't. You won't, but you will be content, and you will settle with where you are, and you're going to have to be okay with I don't want to say that L, but I'm gonna say that decision that you made. Yeah, because I feel like I do that. Y'all know my son just turned 18 like a month ago, and I'd be like, oh, I want another one. I'd be thinking about toy, and I'd be like, oh, girl, I like not paying childcare because it's like paying a mortgage. So I be teetering with that sometimes. You know, I like my freedom. I just go. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of teeter with that too in my head. Yeah. So I kind of like understand it from that perspective, with her child being her business and not so much as an actual child. right now. And when you get older, like if something were to happen to me, it's just my child. And I would love for him to have that sibling. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was coming from it from that perspective.
Y'all be having me sound like Willow Smith. That's why I be having to mute myself. Because when y'all be talking, I be like, yes, I be having to mute myself sometimes. I'm going to do that the whole time. A word.
Wow.
So the other thing I thought was weird, I think this is probably the last thing, was that when we interviewed Robin, she was telling us, I have a broker's license. If I wanted a brokerage, I could have that. Da, 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 da. And then in the final screen of the reunion, we see that she started a boutique brokerage with 4 people, which was obviously before we interviewed her. So what I'm interested to know, Robin, if you want to come talk to girls, what happened between the finale episode where you had the boutique brokerage to you talking to us and letting us know that there was something that you could do if you wanted to and you weren't interested?
She probably couldn't talk about it yet.
No, I think that she was saying that if I wanted to do it to that level where I'm having all of these different people that has to answer to me, her having 4 people keeps her thing small. And I think she meant if she wanted to take it to Kiana's level, Kiana has 10 plus people working under
like
her.
A big
right.
One.
Right. So I think she meant more of if I wanted to do it big like that, then I could, because people are calling to work with me. But I don't. I want to keep it small so that I can, enjoy my life. But Kiana is just in a different place. She's 40, Robin's 50. So they just have, I think, it's just different. But that's another reason why I feel like if Kiana doesn't want kids, it's okay. Like, I feel like society does tell women that if you don't have kids, something's wrong with you. When the truth of the matter is, naturally, you just don't want to. You don't want to, or don't feel the need to, or feel like one thing is more important than the other. And people like to make women feel bad about that. So, and in that doctor's appointment that she went to with the IVF situation, that shit made my nerves bad. So I feel like if I was her sitting there, I would have felt the way too at 40, somebody telling me, women want to focus on their careers, but you really don't have that much time. Bitch, I don't want to hear that. I'm 40. I'm aware. Like, that's not the conversation we need to have right now. The conversation right now is what the fuck can we do because I'm 40.
That was a conversation for TV.
Exactly. And the thing that annoyed me was that nobody needs to hear that, because I think all women, as soon as we hit 30, feel like, oh, if I don't hurry up and have fucking children, I'm not going to be able to do it. I don't think there's a bitch out here that's like 30 years old, like, oh, I have so much time. You say that, but you don't really feel like that. Because, old bitches tell you that, and you be like, I got a lot of time. But in your mind and in your spirit, child, listen.
I agree, because especially if you're doing your regular, gynecology appointments, they gonna put that pressure, but they gonna remind you
exactly.
So that's definitely gonna be in your head for sure.
I've noticed a flip though. I will say, I feel like more women are telling people to go ahead and have kids if you have the means earlier than later. I feel like it used to always be like, oh girl, wait till you're 35. And then we had a gang of women having kids from like the age of 35 to 40. And now those are the women who are telling you like, nah. So I think it's a difference.
My friends, their kids are teenagers. That's how I was like, not my vagina. Not my
uterus. I mean, honestly, I kind of wouldn't give a fuck anyway, because motherfucker, I like my life now, let alone in my 20s when I didn't have any money and all I did was work. Like, that wasn't the time or the space for me to have a child. And honestly, I'm wondering what the fuck my life would have been like had I just been out here open womb for any old fuck nigga to impregnate. Like, no.
Girl.
If it ain't gonna happen with this nigga, it don't need to happen. And that's the word. That's the word.
All right, let's move on to Ready to Love.
Ready to fuck.
I'm looking at y'all's faces. I was looking at Jamie's face. She said, okay. So I'm trying to remember everything that happened, but the episode starts out, AP goes home. Ain't nobody shocked. Nobody surprised. She was still in love with her husband. But a lot of people thought Precious was going to go home. I didn't think she was going to go home just based on the fact that she had already built friendship. So I think that she had that over AP, where AP had no connections, wasn't going to make no connections, and Precious was going to be down for the ride. So I was not surprised by that.
Precious by default.
By default, yeah. That's what I usually call, like, I always say lower hanging fruit for this part of the season, because those are people that just get by gripping on to other people who just want to get by as well, but there's no connections made at all. Like, I feel like that's who Paul is for a lot of the women, is lower hanging fruit.
But it's weird because I feel like even though AP should have went home for sure, but I also feel like somebody said how, because they came, I think it was Tina, who said because they came on later, they were having to try to build connections faster than the people who had been there from the beginning. So I do feel like, even though it was a cute curveball to have people come in like on blind dates, but I do agree, if I haven't been here since the beginning, I'm already 2 steps behind. So it's more likely for me to go home. But AP really wasn't, like, she wasn't ready at all. The Peaches can go home. Not Peaches. What's her name? God, my brain's not working today.
Precious.
That girl, Precious, to go home next.
Peaches.
I don't know, because I would think about Snowfall and Peaches on there. But yeah, she can go home next.
So, okay, this week, one of the things that was big was Truth or Dare, which Laverne was the one who suggested. I didn't think was messy. It must be some stuff they're not showing.
It was messy.
You thought it was messy? I didn't think it was that messy.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because it was so early on. To start out a game, getting them to choose who they were more interested in front of the other person that they're interested in, did damage for almost everybody.
I think it was messy too. I didn't think. Oh, did you?
Yeah, because he ain't on his part, or they was just complaining. No, I think the weird. Go ahead.
On his part, or the people who we saw ask the question. Because when we see them talk later, I do feel like it wasn't his fault the questions other people asked, because we playing Truth or Dare. You pick either Truth or Dare, and you can't pick Truth knowing I'm gonna probably say, "Hey, who you like?" So I do feel like his point in saying I didn't make it messy because I didn't pick their questions, and I do think if you in a group of people and y'all supposed to,
what questions we gonna ask? What questions we gonna ask, girl?
It could have been anything. It could have been about life, though. It doesn't be about.
But it's not gonna be. Not what ready to fuck. No, it's not. When me and my friends doing a Truth or Dare, it's because we trying to get some shit started. I'm just saying.
But those your friends, though. I think if you are.
I think he was trying to get some shit started.
But I don't think it was messy though. I think it was like it could have been fun. They just took it messy.
Right. The reason. Okay, so let me say this. Let me correct myself.
It was gonna be messy regardless. Like, it was just gonna be messy regardless.
So let me say this. The reason, okay, when I said I don't feel like he was being messy, let me take a step back. The situation itself was messy, but I don't think that Laverne deserves to wear the messy badge simply because everybody else wanted to play it. So I'm just
true, but I'm giving him the messy badge because his ass sat up there and didn't want to talk to nobody the whole time, and then all of a sudden, hey, let's play a game called Truth or Dare. Like, how about
it was almost like I'm mad
and you didn't.
It was like he wanted to agitate everybody because he was mad. That's what it felt like to me. Because if you notice, once he started it, we didn't see him participate. So it was almost like, oh, I was feeling away because I wasn't getting the attention I wanted to get. So now I'm gonna cause some upset amongst you motherfuckers.
And I'm telling y'all, because we didn't see a lot of people ask, but we didn't see a lot of people ask questions. I kept on thinking, why are the men? I think producers show shit that made it look some kind of way. Because I'm like, why
going off of also what the people have said about Laverne. I feel like there is something to be said about Laverne's energy. When he's talking and he knows the cameras are on him, he's doing good. But when he doesn't know the cameras are on him, I think he allows for the cracks to show. Because his conversation with Demetrius at that pool party was a huge, like, what the fuck is wrong with him type of thing to me.
What did you say to him?
What you say to Demetrius?
I can't remember.
Remember when Demetrius went up to him and was like, hey, bro, what's going on? You've been over here by yourself the whole time. And he was like, man, I'm just over here. I'm worrying about me. I'm chilling. It was his energy that made me feel like something is off about son. And then the things that women have been saying, and then we get to hear, and you was acting funny that whole time, not talking to nobody again, and then you asked to play Truth or Dare with a bunch of horny ass adults that are in a dating show and have been drinking. Yeah, it was gonna go to who you like the most. There was nowhere else for it to go.
And then later on, didn't he say that he didn't trust anybody or something like that, or I don't trust y'all, but you trust him enough to play Truth or Dare, like.
That's different. That's different. When he said the thing about trust, I was like, let me find out Laverne and Scorpio, because he sounded just like me. He said, I'm not opening up because I don't trust anybody. I don't trust y'all.
But I think
he was the main one talking about, I think this is it. I think this is it, Tommy. When he came down to Carmen, then said Ace is so amazing. Then was just over here thinking about life with joy. Carmen. So it's like, sir, then you got up there in the confessional and talked about how much of a dope man you are, and your woman is gonna come up to you or something like that.
Yeah, he shot himself in the foot with that one.
Fool.
Thick thighs. Pull it together.
I think he's only real with Ace, because when Ace said, like, I don't know the person that they're seeing from him. So when to me, when he said to, oh girl, I don't trust most of y'all, so y'all can't get my the real me. I'm like, but he's being the real him with Ace, because Ace is like, I don't see him as that person, but I do see when she was like, he get negative. We seen that come out with him talking to old girl. So I do think he has these two different sides, and if he don't really rock with you, he not finna be like nicey. He gonna be like, all right, I ain't got time. But Ace like, that ain't who I see, because he's trying to be quote unquote real with her. But you can't.
He's giving male Gemini.
Oh, you're right. You are so right.
That is disrespectful as a female Gemini, but I understand exactly what you mean.
It's
giving Kanye.
It is
Kanye. And you know what else? I think one of the main things that bothers him is that he's so in shape, yet some of his main competitors are not men that are in shape. I think he feels like, I'm pretty, why aren't they coming to me? They're talking to, the one over there with the belly, or the bald nigga over here, whatever the fuck, whatever he feels about some of the other men not being in shape. Like Clifton isn't fat or anything, but he's not as in shape as he is. Yeah.
He's different. He has he's personable.
Yeah, no,
Donovan.
But for women, we don't care about your body like that. But he thinks it matters. So the fact that people aren't responding to him because of his body the way he wants them to, I think that low key bothers him.
You're probably right. I definitely could see that, but I do feel like it's some stuff that's going on with him that they're not showing us, because I'm like, why is everybody going hard on Laverne? Because I appreciate him from the moments that he has with AP. Now, what did y'all think about the mess with Sabrina, Demetrius, and Tori, where Sabrina went and nibbled on Demetrius' ear instead of Tori? And might I add, I have to say it on live because I sent y'all a video. Tori was looking good this episode. I really did not see it for him in the earlier episodes, but this one I was like, very handsome man.
I thought he was cute from the beginning. He was quiet.
Yeah. I just felt I liked his energy. He seemed like one of the only people that was really being attentive when he was talking to the women. Like, you know how you notice how their conversations are going? And he really seemed to have really good conversations with all of the women that he talked to off rip. And that was the thing that made me like him. And then when he was rapping to Ace, I thought that was cute, and he was high as fuck. So I was like, yeah, he looked like somebody I could chill with. So I like his personality more so than anything. But yeah, no, he got a nice little stature to him. So he's nice looking.
I think with Sabrina, I think Tori's Tori. I think Tori's issue was she didn't communicate with him that she was even feeling him like that. So I think he was more thrown off, like, well, damn, I thought, man, you was really, really good. And everyone else, because when Joy said, go on over there, for someone else to say, hey, go over there, it meant even the group thought it's Sabrina and Tori. So I think they was even shocked, like, where the fuck did Demetrius come from? So while he was, extra upset, he like, you didn't communicate with me what was going on. And then when she said, well, I couldn't really tell you, I'm like, yes, you, like, the point of all this is communication. You don't have to say, he my number one, but he didn't have any idea that you was so close with him. And I almost feel like Demetrius ain't did shit besides they say hi to her.
Nothing.
That's why. That's why.
Lucky don't even evil brother.
Girl,
oh my God.
It's because he's not giving as much energy. That's why she's more interested in
energy.
him. But that's what it is.
Say shit to nobody. Like we have not seen him.
He said that he was going to. He told her at that pool party that he was going to pursue her, which makes me feel like there are things happening behind the scenes. Like I think a lot of people are comfortable on camera. So they have a lot of the conversations and do a lot of things off camera. And I think that's probably where Demetrius may have gotten Sabrina in the conversations off camera. And let's not forget about the military part of it. There's something very attractive about, military men that don't act abusive. Like you feel safe. Like
Story over Demetrius.
Huh?
Oh yeah, I mean, story over Demetrius.
I think a lot of women would, but I think he has that silent, that silent thing about him, mysterious thing that a lot of women respond to. Like it is what it is.
She like a chase.
With Sabrina, I'm so glad you said that, Necey, because that's exactly where I was going. Well, more so with Sabrina. Sabrina also likes. Sabrina's the one for me that likes to chase, and she also likes to see the dudes be in conflict. She already kind of mentioned she wanted Demetrius to kind of like fight. That's the reason why she went and nibbled on Demetrius's ear. I don't know if is that she really likes him, but I feel like she's just doing that to get a reaction out of Tori. And I think it's going to end up playing her or hurting her in the end, right? Because that's what she wants to see. But I think she's more interested in Tori than she is Demetrius. So we'll see. But
she is. She is. She just like a little chaos, a little spice. Yes, and that's what she's trying to do. She knows Tori is where she needs to be, because when she explained the difference between their personalities, she said more things of quality about Tori, in my opinion. He's always sunshine. He's this. He does whatever to make me happy. He's fun. And then when it came to Demetrius, it was just like mysterious, quiet, nothing of quality.
I'm gonna tell you what he did. He pressed his dick against her thigh. That's what it's giving. Nope. It's giving a hug, and he pressed his dick against her thigh in a very strong-like manner, and that set her off. That's a lot of the time, all the nigga need to do is hug you and press his penis like that is semi-erect against your pelvis.
Nope, I'm going for a walk.
And all of a sudden, the energy has been changed. You can go for a walk, but I'm telling the truth.
He has a familiar energy. I think that's another thing that makes her attracted to him. I think he's the typical person that she may always go after. That's another reason why I feel like she might not choose him. If it's still down to Tori, because that's what she used to. And maybe she'll come to her senses and be like, I always get that type of guy. This is why I'm in the situation I'm in now. Let me try something different with Tori.
I like the fact that she told him it wasn't that she was choosing Demetrius over him, but in that moment, I honestly felt, you know what it could have been, y'all, why she kissed Demetrius? It could have been because she didn't want him to feel bad. Because I feel like for everybody to be screaming, Tori, 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 she could have been doing it so that he didn't feel bad, because she knows that they are actively, talking to each other. She probably felt maybe their connection with Tori was more comfortable, so she could kind of make him feel better, feeling like I'm still going to have my connection with Tori because that's deeper. But Tori, I like the way Tori kind of was like, okay, bitch, I'm going to go talk to some other people then. You know what I'm saying? So
she should have kissed them both.
But did you see?
It should have been a kiss on each cheek, right? Yeah. It should have been mwah, and then mwah.
And if I was one of them, I thought about that. Like, what if she kissed both of them? But if I was a second dude, I would have gave her the no, ma'am. No, ma'am. So one thing, Bundy, I think you're right, because I noticed even though Tori was upset after Truth or Dare, in the scene where Tommy showed up, he still had his arm around Sabrina. So Tori still had his arm around Sabrina, even though she nibbled Demetrius's ear and they didn't have the conversation until later on. So I think you're on to something. So outside of that, y'all, Wiley ends up going home. We see Paul and Carmen on a date. Did y'all feel a way about Clifton making Carmen's plate after he talked about her contacts?
Yes,
I think it was innocent.
And the date.
I thought it was innocent though. I didn't feel like he was doing it to get with her. I think he you want to play? All right, here. Because the fact that everybody, right? I don't think he did it okay, let's talk. Let's you know what I'm saying? I don't think it was like that. But I think because people know about him and Joy. I think Carmen likes putting her coochie juice on whatever dude she feel like is closer to her. If she know he like or somebody else like him, her juices or whatever, but it don't work. Her juice ain't that wet, because She did
Don't
that with
tell her
Eric.
that, girl.
She did that. She did that with Eric and Dakia, Joy and Clifton. And I feel like somebody else too, because even for her to say later on how I like Clifton, but then Harry and Joy, I'm like, bitch, they was here first. Like, and you did the same thing to the kid and Eric in the kitchen. So I do feel like Karma playing games because she just want to see what she can get. So Karma and her blue contacts, her real hair is kind of thin. She gets on my goddamn nerves.
Not kind of thin. Like Carmen. Why you gotta call it out?
It is thin.
I had the real hair. I was like, but it's not that
it's
thick.
Real
though.
thin.
Either
it's real thin.
Man is real, but I would never say, but I have real hair. I was like, that's
Girl,
not something.
Get out of here with that perm.
A confident woman would never say something like that because you don't even care about people's hair.
Not in 2022. The fuck?
I'll go get my
I don't like Carmen. And I feel like the only reason Clifton even dealing with her is because they fucking. This is one of them times when I absolutely believe that a lot of people on the cast are fucking, and I think that Carmen is absolutely having sex with
Carmen.
Oh, absolutely. I think that that's the reason why the dates have gone further. He was not interested in her until she started putting her ass on his dick when they was playing little putting. Remember she said hold her hair, and then she pushed it back on him. That was basically like an invitation to fuck me from behind. Like if I'm asking a nigga to hold my hair while I press my ass against his dick, that is an invitation to come inside. As far as I'm concerned, they fucked, and that's the reason why he's interested in her now, and he wasn't before.
I agree with
he's
you.
Interested.
Why do you think they didn't fuck?
I don't see it. The way he said that he was not into them blue contacts with so much passion, he made it seem like it was definite he was not interested unless she had something to offer, which was not.
She did.
I haven't.
She has that to offer everybody. Apparently.
But I feel like she probably fucked Eric. Eric or is it?
Oh, she fucked Eric
over Clifton.
She fucked Eric. No, she fucked Eric already. Her and Eric have already fucked. That's why they're not together, because Eric has already fucked her.
Oh wow!
I don't see that.
That's why Clifton said her name first. That makes a lot of sense. Because otherwise, why wouldn't you say Joy's name first? That's the main connection. That's the one you be all excited about. You ain't even really like this girl, Jay Lee. I promise you, that girl is throwing her pussy on people, not just the juice.
But I do.
Pussy.
I think she's talking coochie on the ground.
Ain't no running.
Not on the ground. Not on the ground.
She wanted to be on somebody's penis.
She said on the ground.
It might be dirty. She might be scrubbing the ground with it. I just don't know.
How did y'all feel about? How did y'all feel about Wiley leaving?
I think it was unfair.
It was his time.
I think they needed to release him.
Yeah.
I think every season it's usually a young female who nobody has an issue with her being younger than older men. So it did aggravate me that the women had such an issue with his age. Because y'all would not want to be judged for that same reason. Like if this has happened, it happened to be more young guys than older women. Would y'all want the guy to say, "Oh, she's old"? I don't want that cougar. You know what I'm saying? Like, because he didn't seem like a bad guy, but he also didn't seem like he was strong enough to make those connections. Yeah, so I think he went home for the right reasons. However, them consistently complaining about his age aggravated me because they never do that when it's a young female. They love a young girl. Like they love Tina. Ooh, the young girl. Paul want Tina.
Was it just me, or was Tina looking like a different person this episode? She was like ex-Tina.
I think when her makeup is done differently, she looks, she's a cotillion. Not a cotillion, a chameleon. I said cotillion. It's a party.
She looked different. She had contacts on. Just something was different. But
honey, Paul done got his gifts in that girl, and so her skin tone changing. Paul, I cannot believe she want Paul. Oh,
I can't either.
I can. She seems like a R. Kelly fan.
But Paul, not even. This is the thing. What's the thing? Aura of the Kelly back in the day had an aura that was attractive to me.
Yes.
Paul don't have it
until you met him.
Right. Paul don't have any. Paul don't have an Paul comes off to me like an older guy with older pickup lines that he's hope is gonna work. And he just really wants a younger woman to have kids with, and that's really it. So
JD, did you have a daddy in your life?
You said what?
You had a daddy in your life, right?
Yeah.
That's the reason why you don't find Robert attractive. Okay, ask Tina her life story. I bet you there's a missing part somewhere.
This is the thing.
That's
before knowing who I call him our other Kelly. Our other Kelly was, I could see why people liked him. I don't see any attractiveness in Paul because he seemed like an old creepy guy. Because I think because he's old now. R. Kelly was young back in the day.
But if you notice, a lot of those women like him. Like he was on a lot of those women's mouths, and that's the only reason that Carmen wanted to go on a date with him was because Precious fought for him, and then there were a couple of other women that had been talking to him, and we don't understand why. Like we don't understand what's going on. But more than one woman said Paul in the elimination conversation about who they liked. And so that made me feel like that's why Carmen started to go after him, because Carmen goes after whoever the majority of the people like, to me. Ever since somebody said Clifton, it's like, I feel like she just attaches herself to whatever man. And then you notice that she give them all of that sexual energy before anything even happens. Like she was giving that nigga all of that sexual energy and nothing had even happened yet.
Carmen's a free space in bingo. She don't count. But Precious and Paul
and bingo, bitch. What the fuck is that?
She is. That's the low hanging fruit thing that I've been talking
about. It don't even matter.
But I think if I ever heard it.
But I think Tina, who like Paul, and then Precious like Paul, they both are younger women, but they both seem confused to me because it's like I don't know. I've hated Paul since day one, so I can't see why anybody would like him. After he questioned Ace on her marriage, I was like, "Oh, motherfucker, no!" I ain't seen him since that day.
I didn't like that shit neither.
He gets on all my nerves.
Both Precious and Tina seem like lost young women looking for a father, like what Bonnie said. So that's the only. Those are the only type of women who find Paul attractive. Any of the women that actually got their shit together on that show have no interest in Paul.
No attention. And that's why he know who to go after. He had them same tired ass lines, them same tired ass, let me feed you my pickle. I'm like, you old perverted ass pickle eating motherfucker.
And she let him put it in her mouth. She let him put it in her mouth, y'all. That's what I can't get over. She was like, yeah. And then she let him do it. She was giving him them eyes.
Because she fucking Paul. She not fucking Clifton. She fucking Paul.
I don't think she was fucking Paul. I think it's a flex, like what Bonnie. I don't think she's fucking Paul. I think Clifton is really that dude, so she might be fucking Clifton. But as far as Paul, it's more of just to ruffle the girl's feathers.
I agree.
You can't ruffle nobody besides Tina and Precious. But nobody want Paul. Paul can go home next immediately. He can go home because I want Tori to be with Sabrina, so Tori can stay. Demetrius can go home or Paul can go home. One of them can get out of my face.
Get out of my face.
Wiley was a free space too. Both Wiley and Carmen were free spaces on bingo. They don't even really matter because nobody was really checking for them.
Tina needs to go home next. She needs to go home. She ain't got no connection with nobody else.
Paul gonna save her. Paul gonna keep Tina and Precious to keep him there. So he's gonna keep playing them too, and then see who it is in the end. So Paul not gonna go home because now he has two connections.
And now Precious' voice still being hoarse. Damn.
Had he Precious told Dimitri that she wanted to prove to him that she wasn't a party. I said, don't fucking try to pull to them.
I'm not a party girl.
You're not a party girl. I mean, because you are.
My voice is hoarse because I drank too much the night before.
And also because she be doing all that fucking hollering. She one of them hollering bitches. Like, stop hollering. Be quiet.
Did y'all think she was being... because I think people saying how she was kind of being aggressively extra with at the end when she was sending home old boy
Laverne.
People were saying how Laverne, they were saying how they felt like we get sent home, but they was like she seemed like upset or agitated with him, and they was like she was being a little bit extra. And that could have been why he was also being extra back to her. But I'm like, in the end, she still said to him, like, I want you to kind of, woo me back. And I'm like, bitch, why? If you say he's negative and he on bullshit,
back where?
Why do you want to woo you?
I don't think she was being extra. I think he was being extra.
Wow, I thought she was being extra as fuck.
You thought she was being extra when she told him, that the ladies felt like he was negative and shit?
I think as the conversation kept going, she got more. I think in the eliminations or these conversations, they want them to be like friendly-ish or whatever. I think I don't know if it's because she was almost sent home before. I think it could have been leftover aggravation of her being in the bottom 2 the week before.
That's why.
But she did seem like, I have the power now, and listen to me regardless. And what you say don't matter. And they both are feeding off the other one's shift change and energy. But I do feel like she should have controlled the conversation more. Like, let's not make it not aggressive, but let's not make it negative or tension. Like, don't make it be tension.
I feel like Precious handled that. She handled that conversation to me the same way she handled it with Paul. It didn't seem like she was doing any extra, but obviously they can't take her personality, because he responded, in my opinion, in the same way that Paul kind of did. Responded with pushback and the audacity of y'all to put me on the chopping block. That's the energy that I felt Laverne led with. So I feel like she wasn't being aggressive at all. I feel like the energy came from the guys.
The reason why I thought she was being extra was because we never heard any of the ladies call him messy until she got to that elimination.
Oh no!
The second thing,
I mean, they were saying he was. She wasn't the only one that said something. Remember on the pool party, everybody was saying shit about Laverne. Carmen said shit about Laverne.
Well, that was about not the truth or dare thing. I didn't know
about his conversation too, not just the truth or dare. The only thing she said to me about the truth or dare thing was that he was being messy, but everything else I feel like was more so about their interactions with him. Cause she wasn't the only one that I remember that was saying. I think the Kia might have said something also about how Laverne had a stank energy. Yeah, she was the one that said something about him as well. So it just kind of made me feel like she was just reiterating what a lot of them were feeling from him. You know what I'm saying? To me, he just came off more like, I can't believe, you got the audacity to say something, like you said. Like, it was almost like, well, if they can't accept who I am, then it's them. It's not my fault that I can't open up to you. Nigga, that's what this process is. Like, what are you talking about? So, I mean, honestly, I must have just read it wrong or read it, differently. But I definitely didn't see the issue with her in that moment as much as I saw it with him. And I didn't think her saying he was being messy was that big of a deal, because I think that he probably was. He seemed like the type of nigga that when they get upset, they don't want to get all loud because they know that don't work for them. But they do little slick shit, like, start a little messy ass game and then back away. Shit, that's what she said to him, that he'll throw a rock and hide his hand, or he does a lot of starting shit and then backing out of it. And I feel like he has an entitled spirit. Yes, he does. And that can be attractive until it's not, because that's the same energy where he was sitting there, and the ladies were coming up to him on that first day. Y'all remember that? It's that same energy, but at some point, I feel like he's not pursuing the women. He wants the women to pursue him. And I feel like a lot of them are picking up on that. And I think that's really what's going on with Laverne to me. I really feel like there's some shit with Laverne. Like, somebody need to go talk to a psychiatrist and find out if they need to get on some type of regimen a little bit.
I agree with you. Still think Precious was trying to I think she was giving him a more clear view of what the women was thinking. And then the fact that she ended it with, now win me back, was almost like, I'm telling you what all the women are saying. Now come secure my spot and choose me. That's how I felt she was handling the conversation.
Okay.
Because while everything you said was true, she tried to work it in her favor.
I could see that. Because I feel like there's no reason for her to be there. She needs to go home.
Right.
Because nobody's feeling her like that. And she be lying. She be lying. She be so, I've never felt anything like this before. Girl, what the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about?
That was hilarious.
What happened to that?
Well, y'all ready to talk about the show everybody want to talk about?
Hell yeah, let's go.
Go ahead and like the video so we can talk about it. Let's talk about Jasmina and Olajuwon. right, it's time to talk about Married at First Sight. Really, we shouldn't have too much to say about all these couples. Steve and Noy, they make up. She does a scavenger hunt. He finally says, I love you. That's pretty much it. Y'all have anything to say about Steve and Noy?
That's literally it.
Was there any more conversation about his job situation after he checked her last week? I might have missed it, so I'm asking.
No, okay. I guess he don't want to work, so she put him to work with the scavenger hunt, and there we are.
And that. We'll leave it at that.
All right, so let's move on to Mark and Lindsey. They do what they always do. Mark is trying to start small talk after arguing with her at the bowling alley. This is what I don't like about Mark. Mm-hmm. Mark, to me, is so damn passive. He only feels comfortable getting into hard conversations with his wife on behalf of someone else. You've never addressed your wife on a one-on-one level after the first time. It's always, oh, you shouldn't do this to Olajuwon. You shouldn't do this to Alyssa. You shouldn't do this to Katina. Mark, say how you feel. Stop speaking on other people's behalf. And then what he did to me towards the end was negative reaffirmation or whatever. Negative reinforcement is what he was doing. He knew that she still had some responsibility in their falling out, but he ended it with, I'm never going to hurt you. I'm never going to do this. You're an amazing person. You're this, that, and the third. And that's her problem right there. Don't nobody ever tell her about herself. And Mark and Lindsey are going to continue to be in this cycle as long as they're together, because neither one of them want to change. He's too afraid to get the confidence to speak, get up and say what he needs to say. And she thinks she's perfect. So this ain't gonna work.
I definitely agree.
I agree as well. And I'm tired of people acting like Mark can't talk or something. Like, how can he even talk? What do you mean, how can he talk to her? He has been given ample opportunity to express himself to her. And he talks and says words that don't really make any real sense, except for, let's slow down, let's back away, you need to calm down. No, you need to say in the fucking moment how you are feeling about what she is doing. But another thing is, you can't fault Lindsey in a way, because even though she's tough with that mouth of hers, he's not bringing anything real to the table. If you really think about it, he's already moved into her place. Basically, they living in an apartment together, but he don't have nowhere to live. You barely make it. Like, everything she read him down about at the end of the day, like, it's true. And I feel like it's kind of hard to respect somebody when first they just shut up and let you railroad over them, and then they don't have anything in their life to stand on. So in some way, they need you. And I feel like that gives her all of the leeway she needs to emotionally and verbally abuse the fuck out of Mark. And this is why I always say a man does not need to be harsh with a woman for real, more than 1 or 2 times. Oh, a man does not have to raise his voice and do all of that with a woman, to me, more than 2 times, unless something wrong with the nigga, okay? Like, for instance, something was wrong with my Paul. Lyric, on the other hand, has honestly only had to raise up on me once or twice this entire relationship, and I was cool after that. I was good. I didn't need him to ever get upset or scream again. I did not need for Lyric's voice to escalate beyond a certain decibel ever again in my life. We have conversations. If we're arguing, we tap out until we can actually calm down and have conversations. Because I don't want to get, first of all, the older I get, the more I don't want to scream and holler and make my head hurt. Because, you know, you get your pressure up and you feel it. I don't want to do that. So I feel like with Mark and Lindsey, Mark is going to have to raise up on her. And if that means raising your voice, then that's what the fuck that means, Jasmina. Okay? Because I can't stand for people to police somebody. Now, a man should not be aggressive with a woman all the time, but there are times when you have to impress on a woman who is strong that she can't just railroad you because you are handling her with care. Because that's what Mark feels like he's doing. And so he has to, like, correct it. He has to correct it. He has to straighten her the fuck up. And that's why I say he needs to take a lesson from Steve. Steve straightened Noi the fuck up. He didn't have to scream at her. He didn't have to get aggressive with her. He just straight up told her in a very cut and dry way, stop playing with me. Do not disrespect me like that again. You really just ran out of here. You handled that wrong. Don't do that again, or we're not going to be able to continue this situation. He was very clear, and she got the point. And that's all Mark has to do. Mark has not done that once. And the only time he had the tone he needed to have with her was, like you said, Necey, on behalf of somebody else. And that, to me, is never going to get a woman to listen to you. Having you be hypersensitive to other people's feelings while making her feel like shit because you don't want to be honest about how you're not feeling her. And that's nothing I don't like. Keep fucking her and being affectionate when it suits him. And then gonna turn around and act like the lady crazy and shit, got on that fucking after party and said that he didn't want to have sex with her, and she basically forced him to have sex. How the fuck she forced you to have sex when she was playing with herself and you decided to join in? He said that on the after show. I was listening. So Mark is not perfect. Mark is not a victim. I think Mark allows himself to be disrespected by Lindsey because he can play the victim role. And then he can use her. He can get everything he needs to get out of her, make her look like the bad guy, play this docile fucking position while making her do all the heavy lifting. All he has to do is get screamed on while she does all the heavy lifting.
I think that Lindsey lacks a ton of respect for him. Therefore, it's always going to be hard, okay, in their relationship. But he also doesn't really give her anything to respect, so he is gonna have to put his foot down and get a bit more stern and be, you know what I'm saying, clear with her. I like that y'all did mention the fact that he is making her be hypersensitive to other people's stuff, but not his own. It's like, are you not used to speaking up for yourself? Because that's what it comes off like. He's used to doing for others. He's like a heavy do boy. Always doing for others, always lacking consideration for his own feelings, and now it's showing up in this relationship. But I have to be honest, although I understand where Lindsey is coming from, Lindsey does not give him the space. Like, well, I ain't gonna say she don't give him the space, but Lindsey does make it very difficult to have conversations with her. Let's bring in Pastor Cal. This is the first time he felt comfortable actually talking to her because he had backup, which is crazy. But anyway, so he's having a conversation with her and she wasn't even listening. So that alone is going to make a person that already don't want to come to you with their issues not want to come to you with their issues even more. And he said it again to her today, like, you don't be listening, girl. Like, you just like, you be limited on what you want to, you know what I'm saying, listen to, respond to, all of that stuff. She do be coming off like it's me, what I want, how I'm feeling. But she also asked him how he feeling, what's going on with you. And he just got to work on that, man. It's not going to get no better. Lindsey is who she is. He gonna
look like the bad seed. On the table. Have y'all ever seen the original Bad Seed? The little girl? Look it up. Look up the Bad Seed and look for the black and white version. Tell me that don't look like Lindsey as a little girl. Do yourself a favor. But go ahead, J. Lee. Go ahead, girl.
I haven't seen this episode. I've seen a little bit of them at that dinner scene, which is weird, cutting them meet up and hit the plates. But I do feel like both Mark and Lindsey both play victim for different reasons. I think the difference is Lindsey has made Mark a victim of her victimness, because whenever anyone confronts her about her bullshit, she plays victim and starts crying and says how whatever they're doing in response to her makes her feel some kind of way. So, and I also think we have to remember Lindsey and Mark are not a good couple, mainly because they are two different people. Mark is never going to be the one to check her, do this and that with her, because that's just not who he is. I think like with Steve and Noi, Steve is able to check Noi because that's who he is. That's not Mark. And Lindsey is so extra that she don't even get how she comes off the people, or she gets it, she doesn't care. So they need to divorce, but I do feel like she 100% bullied that man because she knows she can. And that makes him the victim of her assholeness. And then she plays victim when he won't talk to her. But I can't talk because when I do, it becomes a fight. The one part I did see him saying is, I don't want to fight with you. And that means I would love to talk to you about how I feel, but it's going to be a fight. And I'm not a person who can battle with you because you are way more than me. And I'm like, I think the experts didn't see this side of her. Had they seen that side of her, they would know Mark can't handle that shit. Her family can't handle her. So they are just not a good couple. Like, he would never be able to check her because she would never admit she's wrong. Because when he was saying, like, when she said, you know, I'm upset with you, I'm mad, whatever, he said, well, I am too. Oh, I'm like, bitch, why can't you accept y'all both feel the same way about each other right now? Y'all both know y'all both have done wrong. But she wants to point out all of his faults. And I'm like, that won't ever work if y'all keep butting heads and you won't accept your role in it. So he's the victim, but so is she.
And he the bottom. I am done.
Oh my God.
That's what it's giving. That's what it's giving.
It is.
And I feel like all Mark's life, he trained for this role, because I think it's interesting how his mama, like, just the way that she was talking to him whenever he said he was getting married, she talked to him like little boy, whatever. Then he fell out with the landlord, who was like a mother figure to him. And I feel like he's always been in these subordinate roles to women.
Yes.
And he honestly feels like there's nothing he can do. Then on the after show, Lindsey was saying that all the relationships that he was claiming he was in, he's always been a side dude. You've always put the woman in the main role to treat you as a side piece. So it's something going on with him.
Poor Mark.
Poor us.
Poor
us having to watch this shit.
Let's talk about Michael and Jasmina. Jasmina, girl, you irritate the fuck out of me. Quite simply. I cannot with this woman right here. Michael wanted to do something sweet for her and the dog. They go to the park. He gives the dog a treat, gives the dog a bandana that looks like he made on his Cricut Joy machine. I'm like, good for you. So what he ends up asking her is, what's the best way for me to communicate with you? And as soon as he asks her that question, you see her entire face just shift. She starts getting irritated just based on the simple fact of him asking, how can I better communicate? Just communicate. You don't know how to communicate? It's simple. Just communicate. His vein is about to bust out his forehead because he's trying to be patient with this girl. He drinks his whole glass of wine, trying to get a little bit of extra time before he, catches the tone. And I feel like this proves my point. I don't think he even really had a tone on the honeymoon whenever she said he did. I think he just admitted to it, thinking that she was going to get over it. They would move past it. They never did.
Absolutely.
Because anytime that he feels a way about anything, or anytime he disagrees with her, it's all of a sudden he's using a tone or he's annoyed, and you can't talk to her that way. She has a real life problem. Another thing, what I thought was weird was towards the end of the episode, they talked about love. He says that he can only fall in love if he feels vulnerable. So this entire time, y'all ain't even been able to have a decent conversation, but you want him to be vulnerable and relive the death of his brother that he saw at 6 or 7 years old. And you want this man crying in your chest, but you don't want to have a regular ass conversation. How was your day? What can I do better so we can be better? That shit was weird to me. Then on the after show, last thing is, she was crying, saying she couldn't imagine him losing. She couldn't imagine losing somebody as close as he did, which I thought was interesting. She said, like a brother or a dad or my mom. And when she was introduced to us on the show, they introduced us as if you were almost orphaned. They introduced you as your daddy left, your mama left, and now your stepmom is your mom. So I'm like, why is it that you see Michael crying these tears and y'all both share the feeling of abandonment, whether that be through death or somebody deciding to leave you, but you can separate yourself completely from what he's going through for a vulnerable moment?
Jasmina, irritating as hell. I learned this episode that I don't know if I like Jasmina as much as I wanted to like her. When you said that she has a real life problem, she does. It's an accountability problem. That's what Jasmina has. What I learned is I watched the episode of him trying to be there for her and the dog and all of that, trying to include himself, add himself into her atmosphere when he asked her the question about helping to communicate better. I loved how he told her, number one, communication is different for everybody based on whatever he said growing up or whatever your childhood, whatever he said. And I love that he said that, because obviously she doesn't get that. You keep talking about basic communication means basic communication, but you're not even doing a great job of communicating right now. So that was a problem for me, as well as when he started to kind of get frustrated with her, but not raise his voice. She told him to calm down, calm down. What she was doing in that moment was actually trying to deflect and divert the conversation, because she did not have an answer, because she don't know how to be held accountable, and she also, or to hold herself accountable, and she also don't know how to always explain her points, right? She just throws stuff out there. She don't know how to always explain it, so she needs to use something that's like a diversion to distract. That's what I was getting from him.
You think when she did that, do you think her saying he was being mean or whatever before, do you think that's what could have happened? Because seeing her act like he was so upset then, I'm like, is that how he was before?
Yeah. See, I don't think he was.
The same thing.
I think he was not a. I don't think he yelled at her. I don't think he yelled at her. I think he was probably just trying to get some understanding, just like he was in this moment, because she was extremely infuriating in that moment. He asked, "How do I effectively communicate with you?" Because obviously you need special communication. And because you didn't know how to communicate that to him, you belittled him, demeaned him. And then when he responded to the way you were talking to him, you told him to watch his tone, as if he was not allowed to express annoyance with the way you were talking to him, as if you weren't talking to him, disrespectfully at all.
With annoyance yourself.
Yes, she was so annoyed when he was asking for her to actively communicate with him, but then is complaining about him not being able to communicate. It's like, bitch, the problem you're complaining about with him is the problem that you have. Hello?
It's like your friend told you that. I think she likes to argue. She likes to fuck. I did see that part.
She's exhausting. But she's not giving up no pussy. You're not giving up no pussy. So you're not giving him nothing to love. Don't ask that man if he loved you. Y'all remember when she asked him that? I was like, bitch, what are you talking about? Y'all haven't fucked. You haven't shown that man any nice, like, ever since he said that he expected people to have conflict, she has been treating him like shit. Ever since then.
I think she's used to causing arguments on the phone and then hanging up. And I think with him trying to be an adult in the situation, we have an issue communicating, and she can't tell me how to talk to her. I could have a conversation easily, but I can't talk to you. And the weird part is, but you're going to know, he's like, well, yeah, that's a human emotion. I'm not a robot. So I'm going to feel some kind of way. And the fact that she couldn't, it just makes me feel like she's playing victim. She wants him to be the scapegoat. Let me make people feel like he's an angry black man who wants to fuss at me and always get hot at me. And I'm like, he was so calm to me. Like, he wasn't aggressive. He wasn't even mad. He was really confused. Like, I'm asking you a specific thing. And he said, I'm asking you to help me. And you can't even help me help us. So I'm like, well, calm down. I'm like, he ain't talking to you in any kind of way. You talking to him worse than he's talking to you. So your whole thing is he was loud with me. He didn't. And I feel like I like that we seen this scene on camera, because it showed what she considers someone getting a tone with her or getting upset. I'm like, he wasn't even yelling. And he said, I'm just expressing myself. And for her to she wants him to dial himself down so that she can be the alpha female. And he like, but I just want to talk to you. I just want to get along with you. So it showed more about who she is than him, because you showed your ass.
She's low-key reminding me of Olajuwon. And she is low-key reminding me of Olajuwon, because she has made it very clear what her requirements are for him, which is to not show emotion ever, to fall in line, agree with everything that she does. But we haven't quite seen Michael tell her what she needs to adjust on. It only seems one-sided. And it's crazy to me that you can tell with a lot of these people on the show, they're the foolish friend of the group. All your friends are questioning, like, you say this, but we saw that with Alyssa. We saw that with Jasmina. Olajuwon's friends was coming with fair warning. Katina's friends are questioning Olajuwon down because they know she the foolish friend and she don't have good judgment. So all these people are giving foolery. But as far as Olajuwon and Katina, let me say this. People were up in arms last week because I called Katina a pick-me, and this was on last week's episode. And they're like, she's just being a good wife. You have to adjust when you get married. If you don't do that, I don't know what's going to work for you. People were really trying to come for my neck. Bitch, let me tell you this. I hope you ate shit this week, because Olajuwon did exactly what I knew he was going to do. Now, regardless of if he thinks that Katina is pretty, it boils to the fact that he saw his Caucasian mother raise him in a single home and still treat him like a king while he does nothing. He expects the same for a woman. Even more so, a Black woman who he probably does not see value in the same way as he sees a white woman, which explains why you've only messed around with Black women, but have only been in serious relationships with white women. And for Katina to think that that was okay, for this girl to say, well, you know, he's half Irish. This is a Black man. Goodbye, good night. And the same energy that you have with Lindsey, people are upset about that. You should keep that same energy with Lindsey that you do with Olajuwon. We've only seen you try to stand up for yourself when it came to Olajuwon when you were in fear. It never had anything to do with Olajuwon, don't talk to me this way. Olajuwon, don't do this. It was because I'm in fear, don't push me now. But when it came to him talking to you like a fool in a gym, you didn't say nothing. When it came to him telling you he needed meals, you didn't say nothing. Then what took me the fuck out was y'all, they didn't even show the full argument from Katina and Olajuwon, but just the way he simply spoke to her was lightweight abusive. And I'm glad that she got to talk about her experience, because this man said, the shit I asked you for, you trouble me. Basically, like, I came to this show to have a wife that does things for me. You're not doing that, so you need to get yourself in line. And she's falling in line. So that's why she's a pick-me. And argue with me if you want to, but she's giving pick-me energy.
She is. I think she's confused. She's been giving pick-me energy.
Because I seen the first scene of them when they showed that footage from in the house. But I think he got her hoodwinked, bamboozled, and just let her stray. She think what his definition of a wife is what she needs to be. I think it's less that she's a pick-me and she's a confused woman who she doesn't get her worth yet. And she's thinking he really loves me and I need to do these things because I'm his wife. And this is what he thinks a wife is, because I'm not a wife. Maybe I'm tripping. But I don't see her as a pick-me, but I do think she need to pick herself. It's weird to see him basically tell her, you need to cook and clean for me. That's what I need a wife for. And because I didn't see the rest of the episode, but him saying to her, like, you worry about things that I don't care about. And the things I asked you to do, that's the shit you don't do. And I'm like, I don't get how she got past that conversation, because I'm like, whatever I worry about, you should be worrying about it too, because I'm your wife. And he puts all this emphasis on, I'm your husband. I'm not your boyfriend. I'm your husband. I'm like, right, but you don't treat her just like someone, because y'all both are learning each other, for one. And two, you knew being a husband. So my thing is, you not even being really supportive of her, because you're demeaning her because she can't be your housekeeper, your cook. And that ain't what she got hired to do. Not hired back. That's not what she came here to do. It's more to being a wife or even a girlfriend than cooking and cleaning for the person you're with. But he said, you went to bed and let me clean it. So what? You can't clean up? I'm not your housekeeper. So I was pissed that he like, you left me and went to bed or whatever. I want someone who won't go to bed with her husband. I'm like, he aggravates me. And it's sad that she really is putting stock in the man he's made himself to portray, that she thinks he is. I like when she said in her confessional, I don't want to look back and think I was a fool. She gonna think that though, just based on what's going on. But I wouldn't say she's a pick-me, but I also don't think that's a bad thing to say, because she is making dumb decisions. But I think it's based on he's hooked with them, bamboozled her into thinking this is what a wife is, this is what I need, and she just wants to be a good wife. But I'm like, bitch, it's more to being a wife than cooking and cleaning, because those are his only complaints. You don't cook enough for me, and you left me cleaning the floor.
I'm gonna tell you why I feel like she'll pick me. I feel like she'll pick me because she is intelligent and clear in every other aspect. When she has talked about every other couple, she has been spot on with understanding what the fuck is going on. When she talked about Alyssa, she knew Alyssa just was not attracted to old boy, no matter what she said. When she is on the after show, she is very clear about what the fuck is going on. So when you can't have that same clarity with the man that you are in a marriage with for less than a month, it's because you want to be picked. He has put you in, and it's not even that I completely blame her or anything. I obviously put more onus on him to treat her better than for her to just run out of the situation, because he did love bomb the fuck out of her. He's doing it the correct way. He knows exactly what he's doing. He love bombed her and made her feel like she could be comfortable. But the thing that really blew my mind was having the conversation with him about being verbally abused. And that's why she no longer cries. And I clocked that he showed no sympathy or empathy for her in that moment. His only two thoughts when she told him that her previous relationship forced her to stop crying because he basically would pick at her when she cried. So she taught herself not to cry. He said, oh, wow, she's so strong, but you know, that could possibly be a hindrance in our relationship. So it's gonna hurt me. And she's a strong Black woman because she stopped herself from crying, which is the last thing that Black women want to hear from a mixed boy who grew up with a single parent, like a single parent white woman. Like, nigga, nobody wants to hear about how good it is to be a strong Black woman and all of this from a man that ain't never seen it happen before. Okay? Because your mama ain't never showed you. So, because she ain't Black. So at the end of the day, sir, nobody wants to hear that from you. And what that sounds like to me is license to abuse, because you can take it. When you want to mention how strong a Black woman is, that means I can abuse you because you can take it. And that's what he proceeded to do. He sat there at that table and talked down to her and told her that he's not even sure if she knows how to be an adult. He needs to know who he's married to. He talked down to her until she cried. After she told him that she stopped herself from crying because someone did this exact thing to her.
And that was pick me, because she cried because she wanted to prove to him that even though I told you I trained myself not to cry, because you asked me to be vulnerable, I'm gonna drop these tears for you. And whenever you say love bomb, he's been doing it from day one. Wife, 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 husband, 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 ring, 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 every single day, to try to warp her mind. And it's a shame. And it makes sense as to why she's fallen in line so easily, because she's been a victim of verbal abuse before. And what he's doing is emotional.
Yes.
I'm glad y'all said a lot of points. I was just making my little notes when y'all was talking. I was like, okay, I want to say that. But anyway, number one, he talks to her like a child. I noticed that, like, when I'm watching, I was like, why does he talk to her like he's instructing her? Like, oftentimes he's come across like he's a little league coach type thing. Like, you should know this, like you got to do this. Like, I just don't like how he talks to her like he's a kid. The other thing is, I really don't think that he is attracted to her fully. I feel like a lot of the issues that he is creating is so that at a later time, should he decide that he no longer wants to be with her, like he don't want to keep this marriage, he could feel comfortable with the public by saying, well, I had these things that I think that she needed to work on. She never worked on them. So that's the reason why I decided to opt out of the situation. I feel like he's just not attracted to her. What else? When they talked about love, like, would you say that you love me or whatever like that? And he gave, first of all, he said, I'm gonna let you answer that one first. I said, set up. Immediately, it's a setup to assess where you are and how you are feeling. High key, she is already in love, but she doesn't want to tell him that because she don't know how he's gonna come off. So then he tells her, I mean, you know, I love you, you know what I'm saying? But in love, now we gotta go. We got a long way to get there. So basically what he confirmed for me is that I'm about to put you on an obstacle course so that you can earn that particular in love position, because that's what you. So when Bondi called it and said that, oh, he had you on, I forgot what it's, some love, something you just said, love bomb. He loved bomb. Yes, that's what he did. And now he knows how to get in her psyche. So he definitely played her with that answer because he's about to send her on a roller coaster. And I love that y'all pinpointed the fact that she said she don't cry, only for her to turn around and cry in front of him to prove. Because that's exactly what that moment was when he told her, I'm not in love with you. Girl, he don't love you and he's not in love with you. That's just what that is. I also am afraid that he's going to become abusive at some point, and I do mean mental and physical, because he's already talking to you like you're a child. And a lot of parents, a lot of blacks, you know what I'm saying, whatever, maybe white though, I'm black household. A lot of parents, like because I already said he talked to her like a child. So what a lot of parents do, they start telling you, instructing you, and then you start messing up, and then it may not be good enough, so they continue to, you know what I'm saying, maybe talk. And then at some point, what's going to happen? You're going to get spanked. You're going to get whooped. In grown adult terms, you're going to get beat. So that's what I see coming down the pipeline for her, because Olajuwon is already setting the standard that it doesn't matter what you do, you're not going to meet the standard that it is that I have for you. And I'm going to continue to raise the bar. And I'm saying this because I've experienced that. I'm going to continue to raise the bar so that I can continue to move and operate how I want to operate. And I'm positioning you to be a woman that's going to be at home cooking and cleaning and doing all of the things that I don't want to do, so I can actually be out doing the things that I want to do. And
which
that's
is
not
fucking
what you
on white
want.
girls.
Yeah, that's
probably
not what you want, man.
Probably fucking on white
girls. Did y'all notice this? Oh, go ahead, Bounty.
I was just gonna say that's why I said, as soon as she said that he hadn't been in relationships with black women, that's why I was like, I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe, because it meant that he, even in abuse, if you find out a man has a certain dislike for a black woman, you feel like he's going to go out of his way to abuse you in every way possible. So it's not going to just be emotional and physical. He's going to tear you down how you feel about yourself. You're going to need a lot of intense therapy after the relationship is over, if it ever is over, because men like him, if they feel like they can use you forever, they will. So I really hope that there's some point where Katina emotionally snaps out of it and then start texting a side nigga, because we know that there's a preview of him questioning her about what's in her phone, and I hope it's her talking to another nigga.
She would never give us some dick at this point. She's too devoted, because ain't no way I'm sleeping with no 30-inch wig on my head for about a month straight. That shit get too hot. Hang it on the door. And I feel like she don't want to mess up that visual thing for Olajuwon, so she's sleeping with that hot ass wig on. And then for number two, the other thing that is screaming run is all the friends who felt very strongly about not liking Olajuwon, they didn't come back around. So when it came to the housewarming party, the girl Ariana or whatever who had something to say about Olajuwon, she wasn't at the housewarming party. The boy who felt very strongly about Olajuwon, and she said that she trusts him the most to make decisions, he wasn't at the housewarming party. It was only the one friend who met him the first time, and all of a sudden she ended up liking him because y'all had a little bit of liquor in y'all system.
That's gonna be who she texting. That dude, watch. That's who she probably gonna end up texting. And he's probably gonna blow that out of proportion, because of course he doesn't like him and he feels threatened. But that's what narcissists do. They start to just isolate you. They tear you down. I'm glad Bonnie said that, because that is his plan. We are seeing it literally in plain sight of how he is trying to build her into his idea of what a wife is supposed to be. It's sad, girl. It's sad. And he gonna start isolating her. And I just hope she can get out of these. Like,
I don't even like the way he's standing over her right now in this picture. Like with his hand over her shoulder and standing behind her close like that. I know everybody think that look like affection, but it also looks like physical control. Yeah, and like a kid. And I'm gonna tell you something. I really feel like the way Katina responded to Lindsey out of protection for Olajuwon turned me off, and I could not necessarily pinpoint it at the time because everybody was like, Lindsey's a Karen. But ultimately, I always felt like Olajuwon was doing way too much when he was expressing how he felt about her on that bus. I understand that she was being a Karen, but the physicality of the way he expressed his feelings felt aggressive to me. And I feel like that was what I saw when he was talking to Katina in that scene. That same type of, I'm gonna just keep going and I'm moving my hands and I'm saying and I'm talking fast and da-da-da-da-da-da. It's very manic. It's very, very manic. And I really do feel like it's a level of a woman can't tell me what to do. to why he got so mad at Lindsey. Because I felt like even then, okay, yeah, you don't want to be told what to do, but why is it that big of a deal? It's because you don't want to be told what to do specifically by a woman. So, and that was a white woman. So let's start off with him not being able to accept any instruction from a white woman. He's not going to ever allow you to live like a full woman, because whenever a woman is full at her fullest potential, in the way he keeps talking about, then she becomes a source of learning for the man that she's with. It doesn't matter if he's in a higher position in some way. A man is going to love a full woman. That full woman is going to come to the table in some type of way, nurturing him in some aspect of his life that he can use in the other aspects of his life. That's what real relationships are. I'm telling y'all. So he's not going to allow her to live in that, because he's going to feel like, I can't hear anything from a woman, let alone a black woman. She's not going to be able to flourish with him. She needs to let him go.
She's not, but I don't think she will.
I think she will, because I think there is a part of her that remembers who she was. She's still young. And I think eventually she'll remember that I can get back out in these streets, because I didn't exactly hate that.
She did.
She looked like she was enjoying her life before now. And I feel like at some point she'll be reminded of that, especially watching this back, because I think a lot of people get snapped out of the shit when they watch themselves sit there and take somebody talking down to them. And then she watching these reviews. Katina was on Twitter. She knows how people are responding to this man and the way he talked to her. So eventually it's going to tap in.
I hope so. Well, all right. That's it for TV talk. Y'all, let's go ahead and jump into, before we jump into gossip, we're going to jump into the facts.
Yeah.
All right. So the girls and the guys and everybody in between was out this weekend at the Billboard and SAG Awards, and some people were looking really, really cute. So I'm gonna show y'all just a few people, and we gonna talk about the best ones, okay? So
I'm excited.
First, we have Doja Cat, Summer Walker, and Saweetie. As far as the way I feel, I like Doja Cat's outfit. Hate the hair with a passion. Saweetie, I mean not Saweetie. Let me talk about Summer Walker first. I like Summer Walker's dress. Something about the top of the dress that I dislike. The leg is cute. The white is cute on her bronze skin. The leg is cute. The top of the dress, from the buckle up, I feel like it sits out way too wide on her shoulders. The buckle is giving like, mid 2000s. Not feeling it. Now, Sweetie, love the hair. Hate the dress. I feel like, I don't know what it is. I think it might, anytime Sweetie has her boobs on full display like that, I don't know if it's because they're not gravity defying. I don't know. I'm just not feeling the outfit. That's just me.
I think it cuts her body off. Like, I don't think it's her titties, because her titties look good to me. And that just might be the lesbian part of me, but her titties look good to me. They look soft, unlike Summer Walker's titties that look like one is deflated and the other one looks like a rock. So we'll get to that in a minute. But okay, I'm sorry. So, Sweetie, yes, the Rapunzel wig is everything. I think her titties look amazing. The outfit is cutting her off. She's short, and I think the way that high waist is and the way that skirt is just cutting her torso off. So it's just not, it doesn't do good for the proportions of her body because she's small. I think on a taller woman with less bust, this might have given a different look. Okay. So yeah, no, I agree with you, Necey. I don't really like it, but it's more so about the high-waisted underwear part for me. Summer. I mentioned the titties. Yes. They look like Mimi's titties season 3. maybe season 4. There were a couple of different titties during those seasons. You would put all of them together. There was a Monique. There was a Vivica Fox. You know, this is why even though I've wanted to get my titties done, I've kind of just been like, I'm going to let these titties hang, because you girls make me want to go and get my titties done. And then one of you hoes be out here with a dented titty, a titty that don't look right no more. It's just, and then somebody
like
say they titty, girl, like wet. Look, titties hard as rocks. Or yikes. What K. Michelle said, her titty exploded. I said, bitch, not the implant bust. I said, yeah, no, I'm all right. I'm all right, girl, because you used to think saline was good, and now they saying saline not good no more. So, girl, I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna just keep these little saggy titties and hope for the best. Summer Walker did a number on her body with all of the surgeries. I think it was a mistake, but her dress, I do not like it. I don't like the white of it. I don't like that it's touching the floor. I don't like the belt. I don't like the shoulders. Any thigh out is good, but no to the dress. Doja, why do you want to look like a weirdo? Why do you want to look like an alien? You know your head is big. Why did you do this? This was not the look. You needed a bayang, okay? You needed a softer look for this dress. I know you were trying. You know what it should have been? It should have been a bayang and a short blunt cut. That's what it should have been. Someone should have gave her a short, blunt, like bob cut with a blunt bang, and that would have gave the structure that you wanted without giving us alien. But I think she wanted alien because Doja is very intentional. I do like the dress. I think it looks really good on her body. I love the shoes with it. It's the best look out of the 3, but it's definitely giving I'm not from here.
I would have took Doja's hair with the middle part, even if not a bang. It's something about the slick back, and not only just that. Honestly, it's now I'm wondering if it's really the hair, because it's the eye makeup for me. It's like they made her eyes more slanted than what they are. So I think it looked like they sucked in her face a little bit more. So that's what's not making it look good. But her outfit is cute, very simple for the most part, all black. It's just the makeup, the eye makeup, and yeah, it's the slick back is not complimentary to the eyes. Like, they're not going together. Everything about Summer Walker for me is tacky. How can you be elegant and be tacky at the same time? I don't know. I don't like the outfit at all.
It's
maybe
called
it's
neck
the white. It's called what?
Neck tattoos.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's the tacky part. Like the white, just the color of the white is giving me elegant, but the style isn't. And everything about it is not great. So I do not like that. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe one of her tits did pop. I'm not sure, but I hate it. Miss Sweetie, makeup is beautiful. Love the hair. Don't like the outfit. It does not look great on her. We've seen you in better, but I'm wondering if I would have liked it more if it probably was in color or something. I don't know. But in this black, you know.
Even if she would have posed standing more sideways.
I don't like Sweetie's.
It gives Mortal Kombat.
Sweetie look like she's a Dothraki from Game of Thrones, huh?
Not Game of Thrones.
It's giving Chung-Li. You know how Chung-Li has that long part in front? Yeah.
She's a Dothraki, and I don't like the hair. To me, it's too long. It's just completely weird. None of it. It's like whoever did her hair did not know what she was wearing. Whoever did her outfit didn't know what they would be, because it's just seemed too much. I like Summer's dress just out on her body. I don't know if they didn't know how her breasts look, and they just said fuck it. And then I like Doja's outfit because Doja's so weird. It makes sense because she was a cow. So it's like, after you say, bitch, I'm a cow, I feel like you can do whatever. So I think on Doja, it makes sense because the dress is cute and the makeup is different and the hair being slicked back. I think that's just kind of her thing, to not want to look so polished. So I like Doja, but yeah, the Dothraki and then the weird titty on Summer, I don't know what's going on there.
I mean, I feel bad for Summer because the tape job probably didn't do what it was supposed to do on that right titty. So, yeah. All right, the next group I want to move into, Let's move into this. My goodness, y'all. This is Sierra at Billboard. It was another picture of her on the stage, but I felt like you couldn't really see her full outfit. And then Kerry Washington at the SAG Awards. My goodness. Sierra looked good. AF. Not one thigh, but two. Not just a color, but leopard print. I like the straps across her chest, and I think that this outfit would have looked a fool if she had the wrong hairstyle. I think this was the perfect hairstyle for it. The platform at the bottom of the heels was giving everything. And then Kerry Washington, y'all know they say yellow is made for black girls. That's the way I felt when I saw her in that dress. It's beautiful.
I think Sierra knows her body so well, and she knows fashion so well. She rarely ever misses on a red, or just in general. I've rarely seen Sierra in something that I think is like doesn't look right. So she, this is great as well. Carrie, it's the yellowness of it all. It's the yellowness of the dress, even her stance, her hair. She looked great. So they both look great. But Sierra always looks amazing.
Yeah, I think Carrie looks gorgeous. That yellow, man, there's something about it. Just beautiful. You better pose completely different. Let's see if the girls are gonna start doing that. Okay. Sierra, this dress, in all honesty, to me, is actually ugly. But here's what makes it beautiful. It's not only that she kind of knows, I guess, like her style, it's the confidence in the photo. And when you have confidence, you can actually put on whatever the you want and just rock it out. And she
Words
got
to
that
live
type
by.
of she got that kind of confidence. So she looked good. But if this was on somebody else, I'd be like, well, I don't like that. That's not that cute. But you see what I'm saying? Look good on Sierra.
I loved it. And I honestly think it's probably because of the way Sierra is. And I agree. First of all, her legs look amazing. The shoes are everything. I don't like the part in between her titties. If that part wasn't there, then I probably would feel differently about the dress, because I love the cape of it. I love the two splits. I love how it cascades, and like the material, it falls on her body like it's really just falling over her body in such a graceful way that she's just wearing the fuck out of it. And the hair is perfect as well. Like nothing needed to compete. And that's why I said a softer look would have done it on Doja too. Like, but she needed a bang. But this look gave the same type of vibe to me, like for what I was saying that Doja needed, it gives me the same type of vibe on Sierra here, just a little bit softer with a side swoop. But she looks amazing, and it is about the confidence, and I love that about her. Oh, and Carrie's giving magazine cover. Carrie is giving Vogue 2022, March, April. Like that's what she's giving. And I love it. And sometimes Carrie can be a miss. So I love that this was a hit, and this was a hit right in the puss. I mean, the color, the shape, how it looks on her body, the hair. She does look a little pale, but it might just be the lighting. But I love it. I love it. I think they could have turned the saturation up on the photo though. What the fuck?
It was. Yeah, it was the lighting. Job. It was the lighting, because she had other pictures when she was giving brown skin girl. All right. But Ari. It's going to be Ari versus Ari for this slide. For me, when I saw Ari in her, I love Ari's legs, okay? And the fact that she worked out at Planet Fitness like a regular ass person. She looked amazing. The cut off shoulders, the slick pony with the kinky curly, yaki texture hair in the back, just everything about this. I usually don't like high lows, but it looks perfect on her. I think her legs are long enough for it to where it's not really eating her up like that. She just was glowing. This was my favorite. When I was going through the slides and I seen the pictures, I was like, nobody but Ari.
I agree. Because when I went through that slide and I saw her, I said, oh, Ari didn't kill everybody on the slide. She looks great. Beautiful, beautiful. I like the outfit. Love the color. I'm liking the look. I can't even see the shoes. That's when you know you're rocking it. All I see is the strings, girl. And the hair. She looks so pretty. I like it.
Yeah, she looks great. outfit, shoes we can't see, and hair and makeup.
I love it all. I'm here for it all. I love the Kiki Shepherd of it all. Because that's what it's giving Showtime at the Apollo with Kiki Shepherd running across the stage with something hanging off the back, but giving you tit and leg. I'm here for it. I love it. I love the pony. I love the makeup. The legs are bronzed to perfection. I love the shoes. I can't really see them, but I see they strap, and that gave what needed to be gave for the thigh of it all. I'm just, I'm wondering what was it like for her walking in this, because it's like, you lift your leg up a little bit too high walking up a step and the world sees your cooch. So I'm wondering what that was like for her, but this looks amazing. Definitely giving 90s, early 90s, 93 prom, but extra as fuck circa. You know what I'm saying?
Off the 80s. Right off the 80s.
Yes, early 90s, right off the 80s, girl. Yes.
All right. So also for fashion, let's talk about Martell Holt.
Girl.
Martell Holt was down to the winery with his friend. He had his fur thrown over his jacket, and he wasn't giving us 1800s, for sophisticated suit. He was giving us the all white, the fur coat, the white loafers, with the bare feet. Thoughts, questions, or concerns?
Concerns. No shirt, no socks. Why are the pants so tight? Why is there a fur? Is he the king of Zamunda? What is the sweat like? Is he dripping? Like it's so much wrong.
My bad bitch energy. Martell, I don't know if Martell is trying to rebrand himself as a bad bitch or not, but this just isn't it. I hate anybody in any shoes with no socks. It's just weird to me. Cause like your feet are sweaty. And I don't understand you coming to an event with no shirt on. That's just tacky to me. The fur across your chest don't help either. It's like you need someone to tell you that you look tacky. It looks, had he put on a shirt under that and did not have that fur on, he would have looked amazing. But it's the fur that fuck it up and the no shirt under it. Because Martell is a handsome guy. He has a great body. But he always taking 2 steps past tacky and 1 step closer to fuckboy shit. But I'm like, put a shirt on, bro. One that fit, though.
The one that fit, which he don't own nothing that fit. So that's that.
I feel like this would have been nice without that fur. Oh no, you're good. I think it would have been good without the fur, because he definitely acting like he the king of somebody. But I guess he the king of Love and Marriage Huntsville.
Of Huntsville.
I'm sorry, not of Huntsville. It's not. It's not that at all. I'm sorry. I went there. It doesn't give that feel.
You said don't give that feel.
What feel?
No, it doesn't. It gives that Black people can come here and live a nice life, but somebody white is in charge.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
That's what Huntsville gives to me. I was only there for a day, girl. But just based off the vibe that I got, it was very much giving Black people are here now, okay? But this place was created for comfortable white people, and then the comfortable Black people came, and we were just like, we'll take your money too. We'll take your money too. Come on through. That's because it's really nice. And things feel like they are doing a lot of like upgrading. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it feels. But there aren't a lot of people in the airport, okay? And another thing is that I went into a restaurant where a Black person worked there, but there were no Black patrons in the restaurant when I walked in.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? So that, and some Asian ladies came in when, we were about to leave, but like there were no other Black people in that place, so that's why I was like, yeah, it's giving old money, white people, but, new money, Black people. It's cute.
Yeah, it seems like it would be, but I can't imagine what it would actually look like.
It don't give Martell in charge of anything, though. That's not what it's giving at all. No. No.
All right. So talking about in charge, Lakeith Stanfield wanted to be in charge of the girls. He modeled for Replica magazine. He was on the cover. And really what I want this conversation to be about, it to me, I was not fazed by Lakeith Stanfield wearing this. But what was more jarring to me was the comments from everybody online. The comments was, look at what they make a black man do. Look at what they made him do. This is what you do. He's selling his soul. He doing this, that, and the third. And honestly, I feel like we are in a time, honestly, like the people that are saying that are people who will be in love with Prince. Like, are you serious? I'm not understanding what is the big deal about him deciding to do this. Like, you're not married to him. You're not having sex with him. I'm not understanding what the deal is. Whenever they do things like this, they use it as an artistic expression. And I know that some people are going to be upset because I had to look this up because I was like, dang, didn't Lakeith say something that the LGBTQIA plus community was upset about a couple years ago? And he did. In 2018, he did a freestyle and he had like a homophobic lyric. And then he came back and said that, you know, he didn't mean it. He's never been homophobic, all this other stuff. But to me, I think the conversation is more so about why do we as a people feel some type of way when this man who's an individual has control over his own body and this is what he decides to do with it. I feel like it's just one of those things that's a effect of the Black community. For some reason, Black people feel responsible for all Black people when it comes to a lot of things. Like something happened in the news, you'd be like, was they Black or was they white? Because you like, dang, they're gonna be looking at us. And I feel like we have to unlearn that. Just let Lakeith be Lakeith. Just let Lil Nas be Lil Nas X and stop making it seem like it's a reflection of Black masculinity. This is a reflection of Lakeith Stanfield.
Right.
So what do y'all think about this?
When I saw it, I was just like, here this nigga go. And the reason why that was my response is because I feel like Lakeith is with the stunts and shows and the antics is what I mean. I very much feel like he is a person that does things for shock value and to be weird and to be anti. Like he's one of those types of Black men, if you ask me. And this is on code with him being that way. So I just kind of rolled my eyes because I was like, child, here you go. But he looked good though. Like he's still a beautiful man to me. So him having on stockings and crossing his legs does not change that for me. And, you know, it is what it is as far as the look. It was obviously for artistic value. Like, look at the shot. It's a beautiful shot, honestly. I love the browns in the background and the furniture, the stairwell. Like, it's definitely giving a vibe. Like, I don't know, something about it makes me feel something, even though I'm rolling my eyes at him because it's like, oh, look, Lakeith wants to be seen this month. But you know, Lakeith has said problematic things, not just about LGBTQ, you know, but when the election happened and he felt the need to, you know, have a conversation about Kamala Harris's hair, which I thought was so fucking weird. And that's what I mean by him just wanting to be anti and just, you know, be seen. But everybody's reaction to him as far as that is concerned, like, I just really want the Black community to understand that everybody is not a monolith. Everybody's entitled to be different, to have differentiations of themselves. And this Black man doing whatever he wants to do is his choice. Nobody is making him do it. Putting on lace stockings is not selling your soul. I feel like you would have to do a lot more to sell your soul. And a lot of you niggas have already sold your souls because you've resigned to do nothing with your lives. So I think it's so funny when people who do nothing have so much to say about things that don't even fucking matter. Like Lakeith Stanfield wearing stockings. Let's take it to Martin for a second. Y'all niggas still love Martin, even though Martin was one of the main comedians to put on a dress to make millions of dollars. And y'all asked why, and he said, nigga, look at the checks they was writing. Did that stop him from doing anything in his life? He has children. He has his you know, light-skinned Black women that he likes to cycle through. He got his 3 girl children to make him feel bad about the way he treated women when he was doing cocaine and before he got fat and turned his life over to the Lord. Nigga, I don't know, but Martin has made a whole turnaround and we've seen it. Okay? And the point still remains that did that do anything for his image? Because that's what y'all say, right? They put on a dress or they do something feminine and now they've sold their soul, right? Right? But where's the negative for Martin? Where's the negative for Eddie Murphy? Where's the negative for the men that y'all look up to and champion? And if they were to do something wrong, you would defend them. So shut the fuck up. Just admit that y'all find anything outside of the heterosexual, binary norm, anything outside of that, you want to reject and call it buck breaking. And y'all, everything is not about raping black men. Get over it. Go ahead, Jay.
I think people put too much emphasis on clothes. I think people like to assign certain clothes to mean something specifically if a man or a woman is wearing it. I think it was the photo shoot for a magazine or wherever it was at. I think, we have to stop looking at anybody, man, woman, or child or whatnot, and say, oh, because they're wearing this, that means that. When I saw it, I was like, okay, it's artistic. I didn't go into is he gay? Like that. That's not where my mind go, because I feel like someone wearing stockings doesn't matter, because men wear dress socks that go up to their knees anyway, so it's not a big issue. It's not like he on here sucking dick. It's like, why put more on clothes than what it has to be, and then you want to define who somebody is? I also like Lakeith has, when he was doing the movie, that Western movie with, him and Idris Elba and Regina King, he spoke about how he had been going through like depression and mental health issues, and how he was very, very in a very dark place on that movie set. And after that, he had to get help and get better. So I like that he's able to express himself differently. And even if it's artistic, I just want people to stop making an issue where there isn't one because of what they think someone should be wearing. It's stockings. Who gives a fuck?
Period. Because I know I don't. Okay, I felt like Omarion. I feel no ways. When I saw it, I scrolled past it. When I first saw it, I looked. I was like, "Oh, that's cute." I was like, "Oh, okay, let me keep going." I ain't think too much of it. I did check out the comments, and I saw a lot of people dragging, and I'm like, "Why y'all not acting like them pennies ain't coming off if Keith approach you? Because they still coming off. Period." Okay, so there's that on that. I don't really got a whole lot to say. I think everybody covered it for the most part. I was like, keep sitting up here crossing his legs like he still can't get it. Okay.
And men cross their legs, like men cross their legs in suits.
I'm about to say, my grandfather used to sit like that all the time. Like, I don't know why people think it's feminine for men to cross their legs. Like, it's comfortable. It's about comfortability. Like, the dick fall through. Everybody's okay. Like, nobody's tucking. Like, what is going on?
Nothing's getting tangled up.
Men can cross their legs, people.
They can. I think. Yeah, I don't know. It's always that wave of people that whenever something like this happens, everybody got to, oh my gosh, what's going on?
Oh, Jamie, that thing's happening again.
Okay. So, I'm ready to move on. Let's go ahead and get into gossip. All right. Oh, I forgot to take the picture down. All right. So much happened this week. I'm gonna talk about the 3 heavy hitters for the last, bit. But the first thing that I want to talk about is Laverne Cox. The people want to know, was she being shady or what?
Crossed. This will hopefully be your year. We love you. Thank you for all the years of joy you've brought us. Thank you. We can't wait for more Red Table Talk and more entanglements and no more entanglements. No more.
Did y'all see Will go? He like it.
Yeah. He hit that. Yeah, I saw that. Honestly, I feel like even though everybody is acting like there's a time and a place and it was inappropriate, I just kind of feel like they have talked about that shit ad nauseum. At this point, if we can't poke fun at it, then you should have never said nothing. Like, the word I'm sorry, like the entanglement word, y'all. It was just the more no, we don't hope that there's more issues in their marriage. Okay, we just hope that they continue to share and educate everybody on said issues in their marriage, because I think there's something to be learned from Jada and Will. I didn't like her response. I didn't like Laverne's response to the way people acted. But honestly, I didn't think it was that deep. I thought it was just like a little funny. I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. I thought it was a funny moment. They knew it was funny. That's why they asses laughed. You know, I am wondering if they felt the way. But either way, it's like, get the fuck over it. If you don't feel no way enough to get on Red Table Talk and talk about it, you don't need to feel no way about that little comment she made on the red carpet. And Vivica, sit back, honey. Just sit back a little bit. Scoot back.
Wait, what I missed with Vivica? What'd she say?
Because Vivica was one of the main people.
Yeah, Vivica first came out. So this video dropped. Vivica came out and felt like it was tasteless. It was a bit classless, unprofessional to bring that up. And then that's when Laverne Cox came out. Else. Yeah.
Didn't somebody post a video of her and Will making out? And people were like, why are you doing that? Was it Garcelle? You remember a couple years ago, somebody was like, happy birthday, Will, and posted an old video of them filming together and they were making out and people were like, that was inappropriate. When you said Vivica, I was thinking that was Vivica just who posted it, which is why I was like, why would she say something? I'm mixing two things up.
So when I watched it, when I saw Vivica's response, I saw her response first, and I'm like, what's she talking about? So then when I saw it, I was like, well, that wasn't really that bad, but I still feel like Vivica has a point. You don't know how these people are going to respond to you, right? When you're on that red carpet, and she absolutely has a point, because they already, and this ain't nothing new. A lot of times when they do these red carpet events, they will skip over the black media people and they will go straight to the whites. And that's what she was kind of trying to reference, like, you're a representation of us and everything, so you got to be mindful of the things that you say on the red carpet, because next time there are people, and it may not even be so much as Will know that's offended, it could be their PR team or whoever's managing them on the red carpet could make that decision to not go back to you because you asked such a question that we can't trust. We're going to be the ones to skip you because Will is only going to go to where they're directed to. But I did feel like what she said wasn't really that bad. And although Will and Jada laughed, of course, the cameras are on them. Why would they not, right? They're actors as well, so they know how to play things off. The laugh that they did give, though, to me was more of a nervous laugh, like, oh, shit, we with that again. But I see why, what's her name? I see why Laverne Cox may have felt like it wasn't that deep, you know what I'm saying? Because I was like, dang, it ain't that deep, but Vivica do got a point. It's because when they went on Red Table Talk, they actually joked about it them damn selves. So when you're not even taking like what really happened in your marriage, like serious, you know what I'm saying? Y'all kind of laughed at it, bad marriage for life. Then people are going to like joke about that. But when you do that on the red carpet, I think she could have been careful with that. However, I'm gonna say this too. I'm not used to seeing Laverne Cox on the
red carpet asking questions and shit.
I'm not used to seeing her. Yeah, I'm not used to seeing her on the red carpet. So when you're nervous, and you could tell she was trying to keep the flow going, and that was
then somebody's in her ear,
her head for her to say. So that's why
somebody was in her ear too.
She didn't mean no harm.
I don't think she meant any harm either. And I don't think it was malicious. I don't think they should have felt disrespected by it. Because like you said, Jamie, they've been joking about it for a while now, Brian. And it's just aggravating to me that everybody always wants to, jump to like protect. And I really feel like protect Will more so than protect Jada. God forbid they be made to feel uncomfortable about shit they put out there, for God's sakes. But at the same time, I do understand what you mean about passing over Black people in the media. But I also feel like white media be just as fucking messy sometimes. And if y'all still going to them, then y'all need to give Black people the same shake, because I'm tired of us feeling like we need to be fucking perfect at all times for our people to come to us at these media events. If you want to see change in Hollywood, be the change you want to see, and help and be of service to the Black people in the, in your industry. And if you don't like one person, don't go to that person no more. But don't make that about a thing for all of the Black people. So when when she said that, I was like, I get where you're coming from, but ultimately I would look more so at Will and Jada if they decided not to go to another black person on the red carpet just because Laverne Cox made a bad joke. Like, what the fuck? Y'all are black. What are you talking about? So I just kind of feel like that needs to be more checked, period. You know what I'm saying? And that has nothing to do with Laverne Cox individually. That's too much pressure to put on one person to always be perfect so we don't fuck it up for all of the other black people. No, especially not with other black people. Fuck you. Be a better black person.
I do think that Laverne could have kept her non-apology, though. I don't think that video
was
necessary for her to hop on and be messy. I was like, ooh.
Because she didn't really apologize.
Nothing.
Right. She could have just ignored it. She didn't even really apologize. She was like, I mean, you know, if they want me to apologize, then I'll say something to them. But you know, because you know she does the vocal fry thing.
Slightly biased, just a little bit, because I love me some Laverne Cox. So I was really like, she can't do no wrong, honestly. So I was like, I wasn't mad at it, but I was like, girl, you could have said that. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay, Vivica. It's all good.
So for me, I feel like the fact that Will was up for the Best Actor nomination and he won, and the story was Laverne Cox on the red carpet, is the reason why you have to be careful what you do, because her comment overshadowed him winning. And I feel like that's why, well, at least for me, I felt like it was messy. I don't think it was malicious messy, but when you are on the red carpet, they expect you to not bring up scandals to the stars, because that's not why they're there. Now, if there was an interview for whatever else, you want to joke, then fine. So should Laverne have been dragged? She should have been dragged, but again, it was a messy moment that was uncalled for. I think if you love Red Table Talk, Jada has talked about so many other things. You could have said, I'm ready for more Red Table Talk for conversations on a trans women's, role in media or anything else. You brought up entanglements because you was being messy. You thought it would be funny. And that's the part that I feel like your comment overshadowed the actual event. All anyone talked about was her.
But I feel like she didn't know that was going to happen.
The SAG Awards.
That's why I said it wasn't malicious. It wasn't as if she was trying to cause this, but what you did caused this. And so when Vivica
I see your point too, because it's like Bel Air's on, so she could have also mentioned that too. So I mean,
there was many things she could have said. So
well, even I don't think she was trying to make conversation. It was just a pun, like how you move on. So
no, she kept on saying that she was trying to get some of the stuff out, some of the stuff. But my point is, Vivica saying people will bypass her or bypass other black media because some PR people do not want messiness on the red carpet. Because if your client's reputation has already gotten past this scandal, you don't want to bring that scandal back up, especially when Will is on the road to be like, he may get the Oscar for the King Richard movie. So it's like, if you are a red carpet person, you do have to sometimes be above board just so that you don't get the stigma of being a messy person, where the PR team, as Jamie said, will then bypass you. They do that for media in general. That's why they say sometimes it's hard for new media to even get on a red carpet. For Laverne to have been able to be on that red carpet was because they want her there. It doesn't mean she won't be able to do it again, but you should think again, like, let me not try to say something to be funny that could be a scandal on the red carpet. Because again, not many blogs talked about Will winning. The thing was Will won, but look what Laverne Cox said. And so that to me is like, don't overshadow my moment based on your mistake.
Go ahead, Jamie.
I gotta jump in. So I feel like that's another reason why I'm still not putting that all the way on Laverne, because even though she said that, who brought it to people's attention was Vivica Fox. Vivica Fox is the one that's close friends with Jada, I believe, because of Set It Off or whatever. And had she not mentioned it, nobody would have knew anything. Because I didn't know that. I didn't even know Laverne was on the red carpet. So for her to do that, and then now people got to go back and check and see what she's talking about.
Before Cocktails of Queens, it was in the blog that night. Like, I saw it that night. So Vivica wasn't going to bring it up. So Vivica, they spoke about it because it was in the blog. So that's the thing.
Yes, but let me say this. I'm sorry, no disrespect. If I was in the SAG Awards, I would care. People outside of the SAG Awards don't care about the SAG Awards. I'm sorry. Nobody was going to care about Will winning Best Picture in the SAG Awards because the SAG Awards aren't an award show that is very popular. It's not mainstream popular. Yeah, it's on TV. Yeah, some people watch it, but were y'all really, like, do we even watch the Oscars like that? Do we even watch the Emmys like that
We
anymore?
only watch the heavily, the ones with the entertainers, music, performances. Huge.
Right. And then if black people, buku black people that we care about, then we'll watch to see if they win. But ultimately, nobody really was worrying about the SAG Awards, even if that wouldn't have happened. So I feel like it would have just been another time where Will was winning an award that nobody really was going to care about. I'm sorry, but
you know what else though? Why I think people are spending a lot of time on this, on the subject matter that don't even matter. Let me tell you why. Because the actual entanglements have happened, and this man actually went on to win awards since the actual entanglement happened. So he and his family had to put all this mess out. August Alsina that made us on, even with all of this drama surrounding their family, he just still went on to be a part of the SAG Awards and be nominated or win an Oscar or whatever y'all said. So that's, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like I hear what Vivica is saying in terms of the red carpet, but also I don't think Jada and Will don't care too much about just a little statement because, girl, even with what was already in the blogs more than this, we still out here winning awards. So let's move on.
That's what I'm saying. And if I was Will Smith, I would still care more about my fucking SAG Award than y'all mentioning Entangled for the millionth time. Like, it just was maybe a bad joke, but I don't think it was that deep.
I start laughing because I'm like, you know, Will and Jada might not care, but you know who should care about what they talking about is Robin and Giselle.
Oh my.
Robin and Giselle were caught up, you know, giving some very racy comments, talking about James Harden, real racist. And let me not even say racist, racist. It reminded me of, you know, that you remember when that TV show used to be on with Diane Sawyer? Wait, not Diane Sawyer, John Rivers. The fashion show. Which one was that?
Yeah, Fashion Police.
Fashion Police, and then it was a girl on the show, Gilliana, whatever. When she called, then Gilliana called Zendaya's dreads. She said they look like they stink. She looked like she smokes weed or something.
Yeah, like weed. Yes, I remember that.
And her ass got fired. Okay, so I'm gonna play the clip of Robin and Giselle. Let's see, y'all thumbs up me if y'all can hear the audio in a second.
James Harden. Because no one can see his face. Because that beard is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. The other day, I was like, who is this dude? Oh, this is Harden. But how would you know? That beard is like down to his knees. There's fried chicken in the beard.
You know, it's so bad. I'm so used to it. I don't even notice it anymore.
But like that beard look is gone. Are we done with that?
I don't think so.
Listen, his is
clearly
horrible.
not. Yeah. He clearly loves his beard.
He does. I want it to be gone.
I just hope it's sanitary. You know,
anytime I see them, I automatically know and feel in my gut that there's fried chicken in those beards. Fried chicken, grease,
watermelon.
There's some Coke 45 in there. Oh, watermelon. Now I'm being real racist. Okay, this is horrible. Let me just stop while I'm ahead.
Coke 45.
James Harden, I beg
some blunt. Definitely some blunt.
It's some blunt. Oh, it's the whole thing smells like weed. I know it does. Okay, I don't even know if he smokes weed. We're really sorry.
How are you saying sorry and they continue to say the shit?
It's giving white adjacency for me.
It is.
Because ain't no way I would get, like, we talk shit about people all the time every week, but it's no way that I would hop on here and make the types of jokes about Black people that white people make or even perpetrate to ignorant ass stereotypes. So it's definitely watermelon, blunts, Coke 45. It's giving white adjacency. Fried chicken.
Girl, what?
Grease.
They should be ashamed of themselves. They should be ashamed. And first of all, talking about, is this beard thing over? Bitch, are you stupid? Bitch, is you stupid? It's called facial hair. It's never gonna go out of style. You know why? Because it's fucking facial hair, bitch. It grows out of these niggas' faces. That's what happens, okay? It's called a fact of life. Just like, you know, whatever's coming out of your stovepipe oven legs, whatever the fuck is coming out of over there. That's what's coming out of this man's face. What is wrong with you? Why do y'all do this to you? And y'all, they was just talking about how they got millions of streams. And I remember rolling my eyes, but being like, I ain't no hater ass bitch. So if they doing well, good for them, but fuck them. I remember feeling that way recently. And then here they come. Here they come. Not only speaking out against beards, the fucking like, oh my God.
The question is their beard over?
Because when y'all gonna tell the truth?
My chest.
When y'all gonna tell the truth? When y'all gonna tell the truth about y'all fucking? When y'all gonna tell the truth about y'all being closeted lesbians from way back at Hampton University? When y'all shout out to Karen.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. Because I'm highly disappointed in the ladies, okay? Highly, okay? Y'all already said the reasons. Out of line, period. But who I want to bring to the front is Miss Karen Huger. Girl, come up. Because Karen sat up there and said under the neighborhood talk, matter of fact, give me a second because I screenshotted it and I really want to say it too.
Please come through.
So Karen says, this is not helping. Do better in all caps, please. So somebody said, what's not helping? And the neighborhood talk was like, that's what I'm wondering. So Karen says, any rhetoric that does not put us in a positive light does not help our cause, even if one believes that they are joking. Not you, Miss Huger, that sat up here talking about Giselle being a whore from Hampton that had to go down to Sing Sing, and you want to talk about putting people in a positive light. No, call a thing a thing and call these ladies out for their wrongness, girl. Because
that is not the same.
No, ma'am.
I get what you're saying. It is not the same. Because the reason why I think it's different is if Karen would have sat on the show and called Giselle a nappy-headed hoe from Hampton, that would be to me, because it would have had to be a stereotype. Right, it's the racial part that white people impose on black people.
Anything that doesn't put us in a positive light. So she wasn't putting Giselle in a positive light.
The more problem to me is the fact that she even gives a fuck about Giselle being seen in a positive light. Why do you even care about Giselle being seen in a positive light? That's what my problem is. That's where my problem starts. Like, why do you even give a fuck about that? But I also feel how Necey feels. Like, I don't want to say that Karen. I don't think you're saying that Karen has done anything on the same level as them, because we don't dislike Karen as much as we dislike them.
No.
So that's not it. But it's like, how can you even talk? But for me, it's like, Karen, scoot the fuck back. Why are you defending her? She's doing what she did at the reunion, and I want her to shut up. Because to me, it's like you're making this worse on yourself, because now you look fake as fuck. Now you look fake as fuck. That lady didn't drag you through the streets of Potomac for years now. And now because they fired Monique and you scared, and you're not cool with Candace and you barely like Wendy, now you want to cozy up to her because you scared that your position might be, scooped away, especially if it's true about what they saying about old girl Candace, which we still, wondering, but I just kind of feel like, shut up.
That's how I felt. She came out better just being quiet. I actually wanted her to join the masses in dragging them because they were so out of line the way that they set up their stereotype them in the way that they did. So, that's why I felt the way, because she wasn't on the side of the fence.
I get what you mean. You like, hold on, I got your ass. Like, I get what you mean.
I was like, not you, Miss Karen. No, ma'am. Not just because all y'all on the side of the fence of being light brights and everything else, girl. No, ma'am. They was out of line. Not you coming to their defense. They don't need nobody to come to their defense right now.
And if people are fucking up, then that fuck up needs, especially a fuck up on that scale. First of all, they did a podcast. They didn't even do a live show. They did a podcast, which means they edited that shit and still put it out. So I don't want to hear from anybody, because they had to edit it, listen to it, and still decide to put it up. Because I would have cut that shit out once I heard it. If I made a bad joke like that, I would have cut that shit out before I let anybody hear that.
A couple times saying something
that would be perceived as problematic. Oh yeah,
right. I just don't know why Robin was like, oh my God, are you being racist? And just kept laughing at
but
it.
Robin
And I was
was
like,
one who
she
added in the watermelon.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she said the
Robin
watermelon
added
part.
in the watermelon.
It was a Coke 45 that took me out. Bitch, what year is this?
I'm sad.
People drink Casamigos.
I'm trying to see if they said something on their page about it.
Ooh, okay. Y'all, I think it's as a collective, we don't see it for them.
I never saw it for the hoes, and people keep always trying to, oh, Giselle. I never saw it for him. Never. I thought I liked Giselle at first. Robin always gave me pick me, but like after the first season, I did not like Giselle anymore, and I really don't like her now because I do feel like she is a ignorant, colorist, mean girl who is stuck on her superiority she was given growing up, being light bright with green eyes. I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it, especially because she always claiming Louisiana and we don't claim her.
I feel like this ain't gonna be the first time. I feel like now that they've said something triggering,
somebody gonna go through their shit, huh?
Well, I feel like they gonna do it again because of how, I mean, they just hit what, 1 million streams. This right here is gonna drive traffic to listen to their stuff more. So I feel like this ain't gonna be the first time we hear something that's problematic coming from them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's sad.
They're trying to secure Robin's bag for when she get kicked off.
Say that again?
They're trying to secure Robin's bag for when she gets kicked off the boot.
Oh yeah, because you know she's gonna get kicked off. She need to get kicked off.
She count her days just like we count her days. So,
child, all right, please give her walking papers.
Let's move on to the last gossip topic, and that is Delicious and Raymond Santana.
Girl, I found out Delicious' real name this week.
What's her real name?
I thought it was London Charles this whole time because that's what she said her name is. But girl, no, it's some ratchet ass name. Hold up, let me go get it. It's Chandra. Her name is Chandra Davis, aka London Charles and Delicious. Bitch, if your real name is Chandra Davis, I'm gonna need for you not to be out here talking about my real name is London Charles. Like, why hoes always want to be extra? Bitch, your name is Chandra Davis. Oh my God. I'm sorry, Lindsey. Go ahead. Chandra.
The Delicious I think about is the Delicious from Flavor of Love when she had the keloids on her back. No shade. I mean, she was a pretty girl back then, but that's the Delicious I think about every time I see her. So, okay, we talked about them when we was
you look like a
reviewing.
Man.
They did say that.
I'm sorry.
And I just posted a New York thing to my Instagram story this morning. Okay, so Delicious and Raymond Santana, we talked about them for a little bit whenever we was reviewing Marriage Boot Camp. They got married all of a sudden, like somebody said in the comments. It was a pandemic marriage out of the blue. I think she credited like Candy for getting them together. It was somebody, or it was Candy. Yes,
it was Candy inside.
Candy and Ty for getting them together. They got married real quick. Hopped up on Marriage Boot Camp. They were still newlyweds. The issue on that show was she.
Marriage Boot Camp?
Yeah, we
girl,
reviewed
yeah.
it. You remember?
Wasn't that Love and Hip Hop Couples Therapy?
Oh, well, not Marriage Boot Camp.
Was it Marriage?
What is this?
I
it
thought
wasn't
it was Marriage Boot Camp.
Was it
No, they wasn't on Marriage Boot Camp. They was on there with Rashida in there.
Whatever it is, same show, different.
Girl, I feel like I'm about to say it's girl. We can't even remember no more.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I don't remember the name of it, but one of them relationship shows, yes, with Rashida and Kurt, and then Michael Blackson, and yeah, they was on that show. But they were newlyweds, couples retreat. Thank you, Omar. Their issue was that she wanted him to be more assertive when it came to sex, and I don't know what happened since then, but Delicious made a post. She said, I married a narcissist who is a complete liar and cheat, and I'm finally ready to speak my truth. Stay tuned. I'm staying tuned. I ain't heard nothing yet. But some dude on Instagram was just joking around, and he posted a picture of him and Delicious claiming to be her side piece. For whatever reason, Raymond thought it was real. He responded and said, yeah, go tell him I don't want her in my future voice. So it's getting real nasty. They both getting real slick on social media. I want to know, what do y'all think is the cause of the end of this relationship?
When you meet somebody fast and you marry them fast, you get married in the pandemic, it may not work. They didn't know each other. But because there's no information, all we know is that he filed for divorce from her. I think it could have been again a pandemic marriage where we was in love, got married, but it just didn't work out. But I don't think either of them have gave enough details to even speculate what happened, because even her saying her first post she posted, she changed the caption, took it off. So it's like, is it even true? Because if it's true, then leave it up there. When you take it back down, it's like, were you lying? So,
all right, I think she did say something. Hold up. Let me see if I saved it. She said, he isn't broke and he left me, not the other way around. So please find a different narrative. Gold digger doesn't apply in this case. Had my own when I met him, and I'll continue having my own now that he's gone. And I said this on my video today. Sign platinum digger D. Okay, so I said this because I followed her before they got together, and she always has a nice house. That girl works. She was on the radio in Detroit, and she does, people pay her to come out every weekend to see Delicious in her ass, walking there, jiggling and all of that. And she's getting her money. Her house was nice. Her life was nice before they got together. So I said that money was not what it was. I think Jay Lee's right. They met. It was whirlwind. They fell in love. They was having a good time. But then as things settle in, you realize nigga be having issues. And we all know niggas be like showing you they representative at first, acting like they got their shit together when really they don't. And they looking for a woman to coddle all of their various insecurities and shit. And one thing that I didn't like, though, is that even though I feel like she rushed into the situation and there was a lot for her to consider before marrying somebody like him, I still feel like his overall mental health is not her responsibility. His trauma is not her responsibility. That man got out of jail over a decade before he met her. He was married before he got with her. So I feel like ultimately everybody still, the narrative is that she should have been able to be more patient because of the trauma he went through in jail and all of this type of shit. And it's like, I get all of that, but he's a grown-ass man who can floss money but can't get access to therapy to deal with his own fucking issues, so he doesn't make the woman he marries responsible for himself. Like, I just kind of feel like ultimately Delicious is not responsible for Raymond's trauma. Like, I don't like that was kind of put on her, like that should have been in consideration. No, if the nigga not doing what you asking him to do in a relationship, then eventually it's gonna run its course. I am wondering, however, like how it all played out. Somebody said Delicious put out multiple things. Originally, she implied she left him. Then it come out that Raymond was the one that filed for divorce. Oh, she said, I married a narcissist and I'm done. It didn't mean that she left. Yeah, that didn't mean that. So, that could just mean that if he tried to come back, I'm not fucking with him. Because y'all know how people are. It was like weeks ago that people first started speculating that they weren't together because they unfollowed each other on social media. Maybe like a week or two ago. I saw that floating around and it kind of went away. And then this came up recently. So I think that they probably have been having issues for a while, which is why they were in the marriage boot camp therapy couples bullshit after only being married for like a year. You know what I'm saying? Like, they already were having issues early on. So I just think, it's one of those situations where he probably feels like he's too old to do anything different. He probably wants to find somebody that's just going to go along with whatever he wants them to do. And I believe that Delicious is too grown for that shit. And, they probably just didn't see eye to eye on the shit. So he had to go because I think they were living in her house. So, where she was going to go, it's her house.
Right. I think that's the main thing for me. Like, of course, them getting together so soon, not really knowing each other like that. But I think that it was a high level of incompatibility between the both of them. I think because he's been locked up, he strikes me as a person that's more of a hermit, whereas she isn't. I think some of the things that she may want to go out and do, he doesn't really want to do. He doesn't get hype off those things. So I think that he may offer her a level of comfort, support that she may want, not so much as financial, but just like moral support and, you know, whatever. So I just feel like they probably were most likely better off as friends. And I think that she isn't used to dating someone like him. So she wanted to give this something a try since he was different. But at the end of the day, y'all just don't have anything in common. And that's what it resulted down to. And I think also with that, not only not having things in common to where y'all may not do a lot of things together because he don't really care to do that, or if he does do it, he not happy doing it. I think it also was sex as well. I think that was another major thing as well. If she's a woman that has a high drive or used to getting it often, even if she, especially when she ain't have nobody, you know what I'm saying, she would just go on who she want to go and then go about this. And then she get with you, settle down, try something different, and you can't even at least get that right. If we're gonna be incompatible over here, like let's get
at least give me the passion. Exactly.
Right.
And she was saying that. She was saying that he wasn't like passionate, and she wanted to feel like he really wanted her. And he just could not give her that. Somebody said his mind is still institutionalized, and that's why he should go through some real therapy. And I feel like when he was in therapy, he was acting like he had some type of understanding, but he really didn't. I think what a lot of Black men have started to do is go to therapy so that they can learn the language, so that they can talk like they've done the work, so that they can get out of actually doing said
That's
work.
what they all sound like on Ready to Love.
But it's also a thing to notice, like, I think we can't even speculate that the breakup was because of his prison stint. I think we don't know what happened. So like not even put on it that, okay, because he was in prison, he didn't know how to act, it was on him. It could be both of them who, as Jamie said, you know, they weren't compatible. And that can come from different things.
Somebody said they think Delicious wasn't attracted to him. And I'm like, why? Why you think that?
I don't think she had to be attracted.
He's nice looking. Huh?
They were attracted.
Boy, she was over there kissing Flavor Flav.
Right.
Once you are a woman who has any pick of a man, I don't think that her main priority is finding somebody who's just as pretty as she is.
Like if you notice, no woman that looks like her gets with no fine in shape ass man. No, it's always some pot belly nigga that's gonna love their dirty drawers and make them laugh and, you know, have fun with them Netflix and chilling and be trying to get their booty. They want to be with a fat nigga with money that make them feel like he can't stop fucking them. That's what they want. He ain't got to be good looking. He just got to make you feel like he'll eat your dirty drawers if he asks. That's all women like her need, and he wasn't giving her that.
Yeah, he wasn't. That's the core of what she needed. Well, y'all got any other thoughts? Are y'all ready to round it out?
We can go ahead and round it out.
We good? All right, y'all. Thank y'all for joining us for another Thursday of the Ooh Ladies First panel. Email us at ooladiesfirstpanel@gmail.com with any questions, advice, whatever y'all got. Y'all want to put us on to something we don't know about? Email Ooh Ladies First Panel. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Bondi at Bondi Blue, Jaylee at Jaylee's Corner, Jamie at Jamie That's Me, and you can follow me at Necey Dixon everywhere. Okay, we hope y'all enjoyed the show. And with that being said, y'all,